Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Wednesday, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. As always, you can find us, whether the weather is cold, whether the weather is warm, and it's getting hotter. Chris, I think this is going to be the hottest day of the week. Ooh. So it's definitely going to be hot in the studio, because Nate Littlefield is back.
That's
Nate,
right.
Good to have you back.
I'm very happy to be back. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care of yourself out there. Get some orange juice in you.
Emergency.
That's right.
Yes, it's been my go-to.
Be sure to ask Whitey about emergency.
Really?
He's got a thing
about it.
Oh yeah.
Really?
And I remind him every time, every coal season.
Okay.
I remind him.
Does he put it in his Pepsi?
No, he thinks the whole thing is a sham.
Okay.
Yeah, he thinks the whole thing is a sham.
See that.
Yeah,
and it's a placebo. So be sure to ask Whitey about that at 2 p.m. But until then,
That's right.
we got you, and there is plenty
Plenty.
to talk about the NBA playoffs. Yeah, I'm still mad about New York and the Knicks because they continue to get away with whatever they want to get away with. At around 11:30, we start our combine update. We have player size comps. Chris is going to give us a guide as to this is closer to 12 p.m. Chris is going to give us a guide into how to properly watch highlights, because I watch highlights and there's never been a bad player.
Never.
There's never been
no.
a bad player. So 12 o'clock, Chris will give you a guide into how to properly watch highlights. And we continue to break everything down. Towards the end of the show, we have some pretty interesting stories about Netflix just really taking over and the NFL taking over and things like that. So you don't want to miss that. And last but not least, 11 o'clock, we have more information on the Malik Monk watch. There's new video. There is new audio on Malik Monk and how each and every day we have Malik Monk making us feel like he's not going to leave. And then you read some articles, this one specifically from Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report, that makes you feel like he is going to leave. So we'll let you be the judge. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, really good. The games yesterday were not well. I think that Denver game has been really good, or that Denver series really in total has been really good. That performance from Jokic yesterday was crazy, and Tyrese Halliburton. I've been talking about it for a while, but that man and his passive nature, it's great when he's getting 15 assists. But yesterday, man, it's killing him. And he's gonna have to respond in Game 6 in a really big fashion, because I think now more than ever, all eyes are on him. And his performance yesterday, he's getting absolutely flamed for it.
Yeah, right now, and we have a couple different pieces from Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer that we'll get into. But right now, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Tyrese Halliburton is a front runner. Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, the last time I think he played well when it wasn't at home was in that in-season tournament. And if I'm not mistaken, that was new. That was neutral,
in Vegas,
right?
Yeah.
That wasn't even at an away arena. So Tyrese Halliburton right now, he's a front runner. He plays well when he's in front of his fans, and there are certain guys that can translate to the road, and Tyrese Halliburton can't do that yet. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and yesterday
he can't shoot on the road,
or he just doesn't want to. He took 9 shots yesterday. Like,
scary.
He's supposed to be. I think the bigger problem is just like the understanding that this is. I mean, especially when you see what Jalen Brunson's doing on the other side, it's like you need to understand that what your team needs from you. And I was looking at it earlier. These are the people who took more shots than Tyrese Halliburton in a 2-2 series where this game, especially if the Pacers win this on the road, this could be huge. After 2 big wins, Tyrese Halliburton was 5 of 9 yesterday, so he took 9 shots. Andrew Nembhard took 10. Miles Turner took 12. Pascal Siakam took 15. On the Knicks side, Dante DiVincenzo took 14. Josh Hart took 16. Jalen Brunson took 35. Alec Burks took 11. Miles McBride took 15. How does Tyrese Halliburton take 9 shots?
We've spent so much time. They told us that this guy was a generational talent, okay? De'Aaron Fox has been disrespected for a souped-up Rajon Rondo. A souped-up Rajon Rondo. This is your king?
Yeah.
You traded the wrong point guard. Did you?
Yeah.
De'Aaron, we get on De'Aaron for maybe shooting too much at times. At least De'Aaron says, I got to go sicko mode. I got to go Super Saiyan because nobody else is doing anything. Tyrese Halliburton's just going to keep playing hot potato until they go home. And a big three, I don't know what the Pacers are going to do, but they're not done, man.
No, you can't. You can't.
They're done this season.
Watching this, but I mean,
they're not done building.
You got to get somebody else.
You talk about, and I got to apologize. I have to apologize to De'Aaron Fox because we have something that, we put it out on YouTube and we talked about whether or not De'Aaron Fox is elite and just the tiers of everything. Right. And I'm apologizing only because there are levels to this. And maybe we're right in that De'Aaron isn't Luke. De'Aaron isn't some of these other guys, right? Anthony Edwards. And even we're seeing pedestrian performances from all of these dudes. Sure. All of these dudes, right?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards did not play well yesterday.
No.
Either. And I would say, give them some grace. Tyrese and Anthony Edwards are still both really young.
And they're both playing.
Yes.
So that's something to be said. But I'll put it to you right now. De'Aaron Fox ain't going down like that. De'Aaron Fox would not only have 9 shots in the Garden.
Yeah.
There are some guys that like to play on the road. You talk about fake tough, and we'll get into Dante DiVincenzo. Talk about fake tough. Stop it, Dante. You were recruited as a soccer player. Yeah, Delaware Dante. Your hood stripes have been taken away, Dante. So just stop it. I'll put it to you like this. There are some guys that aren't afraid of playing on the road and being a part of the moment and just embracing that. De'Aaron Fox has shown that to me already.
Yeah.
He's gone into Golden State. He's gone into LA. Yep. He's gone into hostile environments and he's balled out. Tyrese Halliburton is literally passive. Mm-hmm. Capital PASS and then lowercase IVE. He's passive. So I don't know what to do with that. He can't be your number one. This brother doesn't want to be your number one.
Yeah.
He wants to do TikTok dances. He wants to dress up like Where's Waldo. He wants to dress up like Inspector Gadget. He is more concerned about that than getting off a jump shot if he's not wide open because most people still think he's a brick because of his ugly jump shot. So I don't want to hear it with Tyrese Halliburton, okay?
No, and I mean, it would be one thing if
I wasn't even supposed to do this segment until the next segment.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think everything you said is true. And like the thing is, this isn't just like a one-off. It'd be one thing if this is like a LeBron in that Dallas Mavericks finals where, JJ Barea was locking him up. And it's like, what is going on? Is he broken?
Right.
We've seen this throughout his career here in Sacramento. This was the big talking point with Tyrese is he would have some performances where his team, the Sacramento Kings team, would be garbage. And it's like, dude, like you can't, you're young. Like this is the time to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. You can't end this game with 8 shots. Like, especially not when you're developing and this team needs some young. And so the fact that this is seemingly part of who he is, and it's such a weird thing because it's like, it's a great trait to have, but not when your team needs you to be something else. Because I think your point is probably the right one that this to me, if I'm Indiana, I'm looking at this and saying, if this is who he is, I don't know if we can't just settle with this. We need to get another great player in here.
And Rajon Rondo was very important to that Celtics team.
Yeah.
But he's not a number one.
No.
No. And I'll put it to you like this. This is what I'm thinking now,
Maybe
Chris.
like a tall Jason Kidd or something. I mean, he wishes he could be Jason.
And he's terrible on defense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He can't do anything. Too, right? It's not like he's making up for it on defense.
Absolutely.
I'll put it to you like this. When I see Tyrese Halliburton, the whole thought process was, could De'Aaron Fox, I'm to the point now where it's not about whether or not De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton could have played together, right? I think you could make the argument that they could have played together. I just don't know how good that team is. And I think De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis is just better.
Sure.
You didn't
absolutely.
You didn't have,
More
maybe
consistent for
if
sure.
he's going to be this passive, yes. Tyrese Halliburton could have stayed in Sacramento, and it probably would have worked.
Yes.
But I just don't think that's a very good team.
Yeah.
That's not a good team.
He would have been a different player. It would have been like he probably would have been more of just a stand there and shoot when you're open guy. And I mean, he's clearly great with the ball in his hands, and that's what makes this so difficult. But he's got to be more aggressive looking for a shot. I mean, everything, the scoring has to come first. The playmaking is an addition to that. It's what makes it rounds out your game. And, it's just, it's so tough because, like I said with Anthony Edwards, like they are still so young in this. I have a tough time believing it's almost like criticize Tyrese now because I'm not sure when he's 30, 33 years old, I don't think he's going to be this guy. And so I almost
think he'll be that guy.
I think that these are the growing moments that you have to go through in order to be your final product. Like, I think you have to get the national criticism of you're being too passive. You need to be more aggressive. That's why I think Game 6 is so important because he's going to go out there. All eyes are going to be on him after everybody's saying,
it's at home.
You've been passing. I know. That's a great point. That's a part of this.
He's probably going to ball out.
Sure.
But I'm willing,
he's got to be uncomfortable. It's got to be in an uncomfortable situation.
Right. And maybe that's not this season.
Yeah.
Maybe he's still growing, but that's not Tyrese Halliburton's fault. Okay. Because I don't think he's incredibly cocky or whatever it is. He's had his moments. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But other people
told him be humble in those
other
moments.
People wanted to bag on Sacramento.
Yeah.
And because they wanted to bag on Sacramento because it's fun, apparently, they accidentally crowned someone who shouldn't have been crowned yet.
Yeah.
Right? That's what this was.
Absolutely.
Look at this kid. He actually liked Sacramento and Sacramento moved him. Well, now we're gonna blow him up as if he's the next coming. And maybe he is, but he's not there yet. And the 916, Pacers really missing Mathurin. I get it. That guy is a sharpshooter. Yeah. But could you remind me who the Knicks are missing?
Right.
Yeah, OG Anunoby.
Because they just lost OG. They don't have Bojan Bogdanovic who got hurt. They don't have Julius Randle. Mitchell Robinson is not out there.
Miles McBride.
They have Miles McBride.
They're
the Nova Knicks because they have to be.
And Dante Chucker DiVincenzo.
They're playing Alec Burks at this point.
Alec Burks. I know someone's going to say,
I do like Alec.
Is he a free agent?
I do like
He can boogie a little bit. All right. When we return, we'll get back on track, which was to continue to talk about Tyrese Halliburton. But we also break down Jokic versus the Wolves. Are the Timberwolves cooked? And the chippiness that happened in the Garden. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the Sack Chat, Facts versus Opinion. Picking on Hallie when Siakam is supposed to be the number one. Siakam is trash. Well, I think that's a problem. I don't know who their number one is. I don't know that Siakam was supposed to be their number one. If you had talked to somebody after the in-season tournament, who would they have said is the Pacers' number one?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I mean, Siakam was at the very least, he was brought in to be the 1B or whatever. So
yeah,
I hear what the point is, but I think it's still Tyrese Halliburton is expected to perform at a certain level. And, I just think that there's just a certain level of expectation. Like, again, if De'Aaron Fox were to have that performance, people would be absolutely killing him.
Yeah. And again, it's really hard to find number ones. Maybe that's the whole that is the whole point of this exercise, whether we're talking about De'Aaron, whether we're talking about Tyrese, any of these teams, it's hard to find a clear-cut number one.
To be great every single, again, even Anthony Edwards, who has been fantastic.
Yeah. And they crowned him too.
18 points last night.
They crowned him
and
too,
not even
Chris.
that is bad, but it's just like, it's really hard when you're this young to be expected to be at this level with this physicality at this point in the playoffs every single night. That's what makes guys like Jokic so ridiculous, and that's why Denver, especially after last night, I don't see how you can't view them as the favorite moving forward, but it's really, really tough to perform every single night. It's more just to your point, like it felt like there was a crowning for Tyrese that was just happening a little bit prematurely, and it felt like the intention wasn't always just because Tyrese is incredible in this awesome story. Some of it did feel like it was just to pile on, oh my gosh, look at Sacramento making another mistake.
I'm looking here, Chris, and this is from Kevin O'Connor from the Ringer. Actually, this is from Evan Sittery. Tyrese Halliburton scoring aggression or lack thereof has been the postseason difference for the Pacers. And here's the thing. It's a mentality, right? Listen to these numbers. In games where Halliburton has shot at least 15 times, Indiana is 5-1. When Halliburton is passive and doesn't aggressively seek his shot, Indiana is 1-4.
Right.
Okay. So it's not about his inability to score. It's a mentality. It's Harrison Barnes-esque.
Right. No, absolutely. It's just a matter of him. Sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish. And I think that's the thing that he's got to learn is just sometimes a bad Tyrese Halliburton shot might be better than wide open is one thing, but like if Andrew Nembhard has to create his own shot, you might just want Tyrese Halliburton to have the ability to hit tough shots. And I think that's kind of where it becomes is just you having a little bit of selfishness and saying the best thing for my team is actually for me to be aggressive and look for my shot so that they key in on me and then everything else will flow in after.
Threes.
It's the exact thing that, again, Jokic does it all the time where you see him, he'll be super passive because everyone gives him so much attention. And that's where he gets the 13 to 15 assist nights. But then sometimes people will sag off him and he'll say, okay, if you're going to ask me to be a scorer, I can give you 40. And that's what makes him so ridiculous. But you have to have some version of that if you're going to be a true star on your team. And it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, a lot of it is his inability. Or I don't even know if it's inability, but get off the perimeter. You passing along the perimeter doesn't do anything. Spray threes. You got to get in. You got to pull the defense in, and they have to be afraid or be worried that you're going to take a shot. So this is interesting, Chris. This is how my math works. So you correct me if I'm wrong. So Dennis Youngblood on the SAC chat is saying they traded 4 picks for Siakam, and you wouldn't do that for a 1B. Siakam is 1A. Siakam is their number one.
Sure,
okay, so let's think about it like this. And I just want to be clear. Is my math correct here? So the Kings were also interested in Siakam. Siakam apparently didn't want to go to Sacramento because he didn't want to stay in Sacramento, not because of the city, because of the setup with Sabonis and even with De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
So basically, if he's okay with going to the Pacers, if Siakam is a number, there's 2 ways to look at this. If Siakam's their number one, then you're telling me that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are better than Siakam. Would you agree with that?
I'm a little confused there. One more time.
If Siakam was okay with going to Indiana and didn't want to go to Sacramento, that tells me that if we want to say that Siakam's the number one, that's fine. But we also have to say that Sabonis is better than Siakam and De'Aaron Fox is better than Siakam.
Gotcha. I guess I hear what you're saying, or it could just be the matter of the pecking order. Like I guess I hear what you're saying. Yes,
they got Miles Turner, they got Halliburton.
No, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if it's that cut and dry, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Now.
Yeah, I think, he was brought there to absolutely be a primary scoring option, but when it comes to deciding games, I think he was brought in there. I think Tyrese is the thing that they want to be the superstar. Pascal is supposed to be almost exactly what he was when he was in Toronto. Still fantastic, still a great scorer, still a big contributor. You need a really good number 2 option if you want to be a contender, but the hope is for Tyrese to be the primary star of that team that makes everything go. If you want to say Pascal is better now, I think that's fine, but I think the overall goal is to have Tyrese be the what is it, the straw that stirs the drink or whatever. I think he's supposed to be, as LeBron would say, the sun of everything.
Nobody that was in the trade market for Siakam was looking at Siakam as their franchise player.
I don't believe so.
They all already had a dude and thought, and we're trying to make a big 3, and this could take us over the top. So you're not going to convince me that Siakam is the Pacers' number 1. I don't care how many picks they gave up for him. You can't convince me of that.
And you can't just use picks because then by that logic, Rudy Gobert is the Timberwolves number 1.
That's true too.
He's definitely.
That's a great look at Chris.
Defensively, but yeah.
Well, Rudy Gobert, speaking of.
He's
who's eating you smell that in the studio? Who's eating barbecue chicken this early in the morning, man?
It might be Dave.
Dave, stop making hot chicken.
Or whatever. I only smell broccoli.
Okay, that was one time I brought in broccoli and stunk up the studio. And Rudy Gobert kind of stunk it up last night as Jokic. So, you know what's interesting,
elevation.
Chris? My in-laws are in town, and we're watching the game, and they're not huge on basketball. They watched back in the day. They don't really watch. But I'm like, hey, nothing else on. You know, I'm going to fire this up. So we're watching, and they were just in awe of Jokic. They just hadn't ever really watched.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun
to
watch from that perspective of them. And I told them, they didn't even know that he had 3 MVPs. They knew he just won one.
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, they're like, who in the world?
Is this an accident?
Yeah. At first they thought it was kind of funny because at first they thought he's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, he can do some different things. By the end of the game, they're thinking, I think I have a new favorite player. Literally, my mother-in-law said, I think I have a new favorite player because they had never seen Jokic just at the whole thing, which is also funny because if they had watched the first 2 games, they maybe would have been saying similar things about Anthony Edwards, but this thing has turned on his head a little bit. And Rudy Gobert, I don't know what to do with this, Chris. When we return, the question is, when it comes to accolades, awards, accomplishments, which ones mean the most? Because I don't know what to do with Defensive Player of the Year. Or maybe it's just he could be Defensive Player of the Year against everybody else, but the best player in the year, Nikola Jokic. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday is going to feel plenty warm out there. Toasty, if you will, this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine to be expected. Highs will peak today in the low to mid-90s. Expect overnight lows to drop back to the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we buy from ourselves. Right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. See our certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to gawon'twait.com.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, a first Major League win is always special, especially for someone who's paid his dues. Joey Estes, acquired by the A's in the Matt Olson trade, handful of innings in the big leagues for the Athletics a year ago, made his first start this year in Seattle. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 5 years after he was drafted by Atlanta.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
It's Dodge season at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and that means it's a season to save, and save big on Dodge. Just listen to this. Right now, you can get a 23 Dodge Charger SXT for only $19,999. Just $19,999. What? A new Dodge Charger for under $20K. That's unheard of. That's almost $17,000 in net savings off MSRP. Just do the math, friends, because that adds up to a whole lot of savings. So you better hurry before they're gone.
Or to find at this offer, MSRP $39,620. Sales price $28,419. Net price $19,999 after $8,420 in rebates. See dealer for details. Offer ends 5/31/24.
It's Dodge season here, and it's a season to save. And it's going on right now at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Yeah!
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year, and it did not look like that last night. I mean, Chris, that was literally Jokic saying, you just can't guard me. I know Karl Anthony Towns was mixed in there as well, but Karl Anthony Towns, that's not his calling card. You know, he's a scorer. He's going to do things offensively, but they were just trying to throw different bodies. You know, it was weird. I guess I should say interesting. They were running a double the Nuggets were running a double at Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert.
Yeah.
But at least from what I saw, they were not running a double at Jokic. And what is the point? I guess to be fair, what is the point of having a defensive player of the year if you have to send a double?
Right. Exactly. I mean, I was kind of surprised that it seems like, and I know Minnesota is a great defensive team and has been a great defensive team all year, but it feels like that defensive intensity that we saw in the first couple games has just not been as effective. I'm not going to say it hasn't been as intense, but it feels like there hasn't been. And as all series tend to be, where is the adjustment that's happened? Because clearly Denver's made an adjustment here these last 3 games, winning them all. And it just feels like Minnesota is, I just don't know if they have, we talk about the counterpunch for the Kings all season long.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have another thing to go to. I'm surprised, or maybe the problem is you could argue their best defensive performance was in game 2 when Gobert was out. Maybe it's Naz Reid and Karl Anthony Towns that are the better front court to go against Jokic. I mean, Gobert, while he is a great defender, obviously defensive player of the year, 4 times now?
Right.
He doesn't really have like the strength to match up with Jokic. And I would actually think that Cat has the athleticism, maybe not the toughness, but the physicality. Naz Reid might even be the option. He doesn't have the height to match up with Jokic, but I just think Jokic would really get more bothered by somebody physical than somebody tall on him. Just like we see with Sabonis, right? We see the same exact thing with Domantas Sabonis. Height, just plain height, Chet Holmgren doesn't really bother Sabonis. It's the guys that when he pushes into them, push back, and he can't really get that movement on them. That's really when he struggles. I feel like maybe in a weird way. I mean, yeah, we had Dane Moore on earlier this season. He tried to say in a weird way, Karl Anthony Towns being out when the Kings played them was good for Minnesota. I might argue, as crazy as it is, and it's the same take I think a lot of people had last year, Minnesota might be better with Rudy Gobert off the floor in this series, because I don't know if he can handle Jokic.
Well, you know what's weird? Out of those 2 wins, who was Minnesota missing?
Exactly.
For that second win. Rudy Gobert wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Now that looks even funnier now that he wasn't there. They won. Then he comes back and they've lost, and Rudy looks completely lost. It almost feels like he was, I know he had a kid and everything like that, but was he ducking?
I don't think he was ducking, but I think maybe it's just it could just be a matter of matchup. This is where it kind of gets tough, where you might have to put egos aside. And I know Minnesota's kind of in a weird situation with their coach being there, but not really being in the normal coaching seat. No pun intended. It's I just think this is a hard decision that you have to make. I mean, this is the bad part of giving up so much for Gobert, that you almost can't take him off of the floor in these moments, even if it is for the benefit of the team. You're paying this guy so much money, and you gave up so many assets for him. You can't take him off the floor in a win or go home game. But I truly do think if Jokic is just going to back him down and Gobert isn't going to find a way, if they have to send doubles, or if Gobert can't figure out a way to bother him, I think that Minnesota is going to lose, because essentially they have to play Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Also, what has happened to Anthony Edwards? They're not sending a double on him. Yeah. And with the primary defender, it hasn't been Aaron Gordon.
I haven't been paying the closest attention to that. Gordon would make, if I were coach, I think
it's been
it might be KCP,
Mike Brown, hashtag Mike Brown, steady diet of just different guys. And I just think, honestly, well, to be fair, when we did talk to Dane Moore in Minnesota, he did say the issue with this team was not the defense, it was the offense.
Yes.
So
that's why they need
you neutralize Anthony Edwards and they're just throwing bodies at Karl Anthony Towns. Nickeil Alexander, Walker, go ahead. Yeah. Chris's boy Jaden McDaniels.
That's right.
Go ahead. These guys can shoot.
Go ahead.
And I'll put it to you like this.
Okay, losing that way.
And I don't want to hear, Chris, I don't want to hear anything else about slow-mo.
he's been terrible.
He's been
series.
awful.
So bad. Yeah,
Kyle Anderson, and I'm tired. And I don't know if I'm coming down Whitey's road. Was it Whitey? There's always somebody that is saying, Kyle Anderson, man, I mean, he's just a hooper's hooper. Everybody would love him on the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. He'd be terrible on the Kings. The Kings want to play fast.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part that doesn't make sense. But he is a very toolsy guy.
Chris,
I
don't
him on
want
my
him.
free agent list.
No, take him off.
I think he's good.
No,
I think he's
Chris,
good at a 4.
Have you seen him shoot?
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's really, I mean, everything about him's slow. It's not pretty, but I think he makes good decisions. This has just been I cannot defend him this series. It's been really, really terrible. He can't defend me either. But it's been a rough series for him for sure. And you said, speaking of the Mike Brown steady diet, that makes me think too. What is Rick Carlisle like? Why doesn't Rick Carlisle do that with Jalen Brunson? How are you going to continue to let Jalen Brunson just absolutely cook you?
Yeah,
and not have. I mean, maybe it's a sign that the Pacers, who we've known all year, they can't play defense or don't have defensive players. But Jalen Brunson is one of the smaller guys in this league. Mm-hmm. You can't throw Obi Toppin on him for 5 minutes. Like you can't just put some.
You're not
length
talking
on
about
him.
doubles.
No, just put some length on him.
Just
like
give him a different look.
Exactly. That's what it's because you continue to throw. I think it's Nemhard that they keep.
No. It was
Nesmith.
It's Nesmith until Nesmith gets in foul trouble.
Sure. Yeah.
And then once he gets into foul trouble, they have to put Nemhard on.
Right.
And I think.
And how about TJ? TJ's been cooking all series.
After that game 2 or whatever it was, they just stopped putting TJ because I think they were worried about fouling. But I put it to you like that. That's correct. I saw one play. I mean, it was Steph. It was old school Steph Curry-esque. The way Tyrese Halliburton, Chris, you would have thought. You would have thought that Brunson, I mean, you would have thought that he forgot to put on deodorant. I mean, the way Tyrese Halliburton sprinted, it was a switch, Chris, on a screen. The way Tyrese Halliburton, stay away. You would have thought Brunson was trying to rob him or something like that. Chris, he sprinted. He wanted nothing to do with Jalen Brunson, no smoke. Yeah. And I don't like that.
Yeah. No,
I don't like that. Right. Meanwhile, you got De'Aaron
too, so he should be able to.
He's taller than De'Aaron. Yeah. De'Aaron, remember that game? Was it against the Knicks when he checked up and he said, "Keon, you go over there," and he said, "I'm checking him." It might have been Brunson, might have been whoever, and I don't even care if you get cooked or not. Mm-hmm. But at least that's number one. Type of mentality.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. Because one day they will get there. You can't be running. He was running around like toddler styles running around. He's like, stay away from me.
Avoiding it.
Stay away.
I mean, that's bad. Yeah. I mean, you can't have that. I mean, if they're just going to continue, and that's why I think maybe next round, if the Knicks do make it, if they play Boston, like, I think Boston's just going to put Jaylen Brown on him, maybe put Tatum on him.
Derek White,
Holiday's the best perimeter defender in the league.
The Knicks,
has been in the past.
They're going to have to get a full-on stimulus package from the NBA and the refs if they want to beat the Celtics. Because unless
it's going to be crazy,
Miles McBride and Hartenstein, unless they just continue to play, I mean, they've already been. That's the thing. They've already been playing out of their minds.
Yep.
If they weren't playing well. Yeah. Or if they were going to get somebody back like Randall or
maybe
OG.
I think we saw OG.
But they're already playing at their ceiling.
Right. Yes. They have already maximized everything they got. Dante DiVincenzo's now kind of came back to earth every so often. I think he was like 4 of 15 or something yesterday. Yeah. I mean, I think this Knicks run has been really fun, but the second they run into, and I think that Philly win was great. That series win was great, but I just think once they run into a team that's fully healthy and, actually a title contender, it's been really fun, but it's a wrap. I think that Knicks, not to get too far ahead of ourselves.
They don't have home court.
Yeah,
even if they have home
that
court.
Too. Yeah.
All right. Coming up next, we have a clip from everyone's favorite NBA analyst. I can't wait to play this. Were they bars or was it corny? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
We love the game because anything can happen. There's no sure thing.
How did that go in?
Every play, every shot,
Are you kidding me?
every swing is a risk if you bet.
I can't believe that just happened.
There's no easy money. There's no luck. And no one wins all the time. If you bet, bet responsibly and always set a limit. Learn more at responsibleplay.org.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. And right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection. See our exceptional selection of Elk Grove Honda certified pre-owned Hondas with interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Letts, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, Brian Kelly, Drew Baldridge, Brian Martin, Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthew.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPfest.com. That's CITPfest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Vernick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
From the 916, I heard other talking heads saying the Kings should think about Jordan Poole Anderson is a one-way player too. No thanks for me. Well, I would take Anderson over Jordan Poole. I'm really confused about the Jordan Poole thing. Obviously, I was in the Bay where they won the championship, and I mean, you just thought this is the guy, right? I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily a Steph Curry conversation. I can't lie to you. Did I ever get on the airwaves and say I could see it in a small fashion? And we all did it. And yeah, Jordan Poole, maybe another year of just being clear from the Mike Tyson punch, and maybe we can see what's happening there. Speaking of the boxer himself, Draymond Green spent essentially the whole time on NBA on TNT, which I guess is coming to a close. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But Draymond Green is on the panel, and this was their secondary panel because it was Vince Carter and Draymond, no Chuck or Shaq. And Draymond basically took the opportunity to just talk about how much he can't stand Rudy Gobert. And he had a line in here, and we're trying to figure out, as we become more removed from the Drake and Kendrick beef, and we're still waiting for Whitey Gleason to drop his diss track for Dave. This is what Draymond had to say about the defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert.
Listen here, I got two things of why this series ain't coming back to Minnesota. Number one, the big Frenchman is sitting on that podium speaking his native language. We need to do this. You need to get a stop. It ain't we. Karl Anthony Towns is actually doing a pretty good job when he's on Joker. It's you, my man, that's getting cooked. So it's no we. Now, yes, you do need help from other guys, but on some of those, help can't help you. Like, you just got to get a stop. So that's number one. Number two, when you're in these playoff series, for me, I'm always looking for the smallest ounce of weakness that I can find. And the way Karl Anthony Towns walked off that floor with the limp after he played the rest of that game totally fine, and then he could barely walk leaving the court, they don't believe anymore. And when you lose belief, this defending champions you're playing against, when you lose the belief, it's over. And they don't believe they can win anymore.
There's no we. Yeah. It's you. Was that a bar, or was that far from a bar?
He definitely thought it was a bar for sure.
He had that.
He wrote that. I think he wrote that down.
Yeah, they don't believe you.
Yeah,
no we.
We.
Yeah,
that's like I think Party Next Door had a oh you say we a lot. Oh, you speak French now.
I hear you talking about we a lot.
Yeah,
oh, you speak French now. Oh man,
he thought it was a bar. He definitely did. I mean, let me try and do this. Taking Draymond hater glasses off. I think it's kind of a bar. I think it's a little bit. It's unconfirmed. I did not listen to Rudy Gobert's post game. If he actually did say we, or like if he did say we, talking about the defense, then I would say that's a bar. It is really corny though. It's really, really corny. The fact that he really set it up and delivered it like that, it was, it was fine.
It was just a lot. I mean, there's more that Draymond said about Rudy Gobert. And this is what happens. This is what happens when you have active players that have active beefs with
an active microphone.
With an active microphone. This is what happens. And how can you sit there and be objective when breaking down and analyzing a player that you don't like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Openly.
We were just talking about this with Dave, with Diners, Drivers, and Dives, right? I don't love scrambled eggs. Okay. So if I'm doing Diners, Drivers, and Dives, which I probably will be doing one day.
Oh yeah, at some point.
And the dish is some version of scrambled eggs. Hey, Alan, this is their number one dish here.
Right.
I can't give a fair assessment of the scrambled eggs because I don't really like scrambled eggs.
Right.
So I could tell Chris or all my million followers and viewers, right? Oh man, this dish, it's all right. I would probably go in a different direction. And somebody that likes scrambled eggs would say, these are the most fire scrambled eggs I've ever had.
Right, exactly.
So Draymond is being asked to be objective on things that he's not objective about.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that show is not for rational takes or anything like that. That show is for, I mean, especially when Shaq and Chuck aren't
But
there.
it's not first. I mean, it kind of is though.
Yeah. I mean,
they make fun of the whole.
Sure.
But there's nobody that Shaq, Chuck, Kenny there that's playing right now.
No, yeah,
that
sure.
And not only whether there may be some. Hold on.
Yeah.
There may be some guys that they don't like.
Right. Exactly.
But we don't know.
Maybe. I mean, Shaq did not like Dwight Howard. We know that for sure. That's
Dwight's in Taiwan.
I just mean like they have a history of showing bias, is what I'm saying. I just mean like I just mean he's playing a role.
Yes.
He's got to play.
Shaq loves Steph. We know Shaq
Sure.
loves Steph.
There's that too. Yeah, exactly.
But this was bad.
No, I hear
Chris.
what you're saying 100%. Like he's not being fair. He's not being biased. But I just went through. I kind of do agree with him though that it is a lot on Rudy Gobert personally. Like when you are the defensive player of the
Frenchman,
year,
he called him the big Frenchman.
Big Frenchman's crazy. That's crazy.
The big Frenchman.
I mean, especially when he's going for an award that you definitely want.
Yes, of course.
You can have some respect for him for sure. But no, I mean, I do think that he's not wrong in saying Rudy Gobert does have to personally be better. When you're defensive player of the year, there's a certain level of expectation, and the MVP is playing like the MVP right now, but the defensive player of the year is not playing like the defensive player of the year. So I think it's fair to criticize him.
No, it's fair to criticize him. I'm just wondering whether I don't know. I hate to say crossed the line, but just went to a spot where
sure. I mean,
Draymond
he
was
threw some jabs in there for sure.
Draymond was hoping that this was a perfect storm for
yeah,
Draymond.
Yeah, it was a lob. It was an easy lob for him. And you're tripping if you think Draymond wasn't going to slam that thing down and go between his legs first.
Yeah.
Like he does not like Rudy Gobert. He's always gone at Rudy Gobert, and I don't think anybody likes Rudy Gobert. So I think more in the NBA likes Rudy Gobert. So I think it's I feel like a lot of people probably feel that way. But this is also like exactly what you would expect out of Draymond. Like Draymond's going to do this. I think this is going to be if he stays around on network TV. I feel like this is exactly what Draymond's shtick is going to be. It's just nobody is good enough. Nobody was as good as me, and probably calling everybody soft.
Fair enough. And before we get to it, 11 o'clock, you don't want to miss our Malik Monk watch, but I did want to chat about the other players in the Pacers-Knicks besides who we've already mentioned. Dante DiVincenzo. And I get Dante DiVincenzo. I was reading something that he came up really being a soccer guy. He was recruited to play, high school soccer, not basketball. And then at one point made the switch. I mean, the guy still he plays a combination of football, soccer, and basketball. That whole thing. And look, whenever these games, I feel like Draymond now, because I've been open with everybody that I hate the games in the Garden because they just seem unfair to me. And as much as I roasted Halliburton, it just doesn't feel like a fair shake.
Sure.
When the games are in the Garden. And Dante DiVincenzo, really nice play with the putback dunk.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already running around at 1,000, right? After the dunk, Miles Turner goes to set a screen. Dante DiVincenzo takes a dive on every screen. He's doing the stop, drop, and roll like his house is on fire. Every single screen.
Right. Didn't he got the moving screen called in that one game?
Yes, because he's just flopping around.
Yeah.
So he goes to Miles Turner goes to set a screen. Dante DiVincenzo acts like he's playing Twister and goes on Miles Turner's hip. He's hanging on his hip, and Miles Turner is saying, hey, what's going on here, man? He's just trying to set the screen. Then DiVincenzo has the audacity to get mad at Miles Turner, and he says, bleep you bleep. And everybody's saying, Dante's riding. And Chris, I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Tough calling people's gangster into question, Dante DiVincenzo.
And then he says they think they're tough guys over there. That's what DiVincenzo said about Miles Turner. Miles Turner played with Legos. Miles Turner is not trying to be tough. He openly plays with Legos as an adult.
Right. And Tyrese Halliburton, to your point, is dressing like Inspector Gadget.
They are not trying to be fake tough guys. I hate this overused. It's you, Dante.
Yeah.
It's you. Stop diving on screens. And you can't do that in Indiana. You do it in Madison Square Garden. This whole thing is cooked, Chris. But I saw that. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah. It didn't make sense. No, I mean, it was big front runner energy for sure from Dante. Like he was feeling himself for sure, but yeah, for him to call them like act fake tough guys, I don't think any of those guys.
There's a long list of fake tough guys.
Nobody
in the
on
NBA.
the Pacers. Not a single Pacer has ever. I mean, Ben Mathurin, but he's not playing.
Maybe Obi.
Obi maybe is talking like, "Oh yeah, y'all shouldn't have let me
TJ
go."
McConnell? What are we talking about?
I know Tyrese sometimes likes to chirp a little, but
this is just a battle. This whole series is just a battle of the front runners. It's just a battle of the front runners.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, when the Knicks lose, then it's but we're so injured. But
I'm trying to figure out: do I want it to just end? What's better for my blood pressure? It ending in Indiana or Game 7 in Madison Square Garden? It's got to end
in Indiana.
But that means I got to root for the Knicks.
Yeah, I guess. Just, sacrifice one game for the long-term betterment. It'll be over soon.
It'll be over soon. It will be. And I will be watching Boston, New York, just to see.
Boston, New York.
831, according to him, he builds Legos. That's a conversation for another day, I think. And I think Nate will have thoughts on that.
That's right. Yeah, I guess you don't play with Legos. Yeah. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Stiles and Watkins. When we come back, it's Malik Monk Watch, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years with plenty of close by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You've seen the specials on Amazon, Netflix, Showtime, and more. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
Babe, can I go with Steve and have a drink at the casino? And then she started to speak wife. She looked at him right in the face and she goes, you can do whatever you want. And his dumb goes, told you. I go, oh, no, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Steve Trevino. Saturday, June 1st, the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia Vacaville, where we're celebrating the arrival of a new season with unbeatable lease options on our 2024 lineup. As May blossoms with possibilities, it's the perfect time to immerse yourself in the exhilarating world of Kia, highlighted by the luxurious and versatile Kia Telluride. Throughout the May Springtime Sales Event, Kia Vacaville is thrilled to showcase our top models with irresistible lease offers. Experience the thrill of driving the all-new Kia Sportage, seamlessly blending captivating design with dynamic performance. Dive into the impressive fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel designed to extend your adventures. Embrace the essence of spring with our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, specifically tailored for those who prioritize efficiency without compromising on style. With the EV9 in stock, Kia Vacaville stands as your premier destination for electric excitement. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Staying. We also have a interesting connection to Sasha Vezenkov that we came across, and we'll dive into that a little bit later in the show. Possibly we might save it for Roundtable tomorrow as well, because Brendan and Frankie are well versed on that stuff. But there is an interesting connection between the money that they can offer Malik Monk and Sasha Vezenkov. So you won't want to miss that. But before we get to all that, Malik Monk Watch is in full effect.
I have some info.
Okay.
I mean, I think I told you guys last week. I'm pretty sure I did.
I haven't seen you in like a month.
I texted you. I know.
Oh.
I'll just tell everyone I had COVID.
Okay.
So I'm back now. We don't have to dance around it.
No.
It's truth.
It's your life.
I'm back. I'm negative. Yeah, my medical info, not a big deal.
That's right.
It's
not a HIPAA violation.
I used to work at a country club private golf course.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
We got insider information now. Now I'm getting excited.
I got a Snapchat from somebody there. I don't know if it was an employee or just someone playing anything. Saw the tee times. Malik Monk was playing with Kings personnel. Staff, I'd say staff. Two that I knew for sure. So this was last week, I believe.
Is this the picture?
It could be.
Or is this different?
Definitely.
No. After. This was after the picture. This was after the picture.
He's gonna
to be clear, that last week there was a picture on Instagram posted of what was it? Vivek.
It was Vivek,
Yes.
Monty,
Keegan.
Wes, Keegan, and Mike Brown.
This is a different golf course. This is a different. I can't say too much.
No,
I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Yeah, you got sources.
But he was on the tee time, or no, he was when I was talking to the person there. He was on the course, so he wasn't just on the tee time. He was playing.
You should have drove over there, offered him
With multiple Kings personnel.
I know.
So there has been multiple golf outings.
Yes.
With Kings staffing.
Right. Yeah.
with Malik Monk.
King's people.
So
There's no better place to negotiate than the golf course either.
Yes.
Hey, Malik, how about we take $1 million off if you miss this putt?
Look,
that's a good. That makes a lot of sense,
it's
man.
Binding.
Yeah,
Alan almost hit a home run, a hole in one, didn't you?
Yeah, I was about, and I'm not even kidding. You can check out the video on my social media. I was about a foot away from my first hole in one, and I do this.
Size 7.
And Chris, yes, and Chris knows this because we've golfed before. I've said this plenty. Every par 3, basically. I'll say, you ever seen a hole in one before I swing? And this one, I actually almost did it. I almost did it.
You have to get the full video of it. Like, you have to get that moment, too, because that's, that video is popping.
Well, I
100 times
keep trying to pay Nate to be my videographer, but he keeps turning
I have way too many offers.
That's true as well. So Malik Monk now. So this is what we have, guys. We have this all charted out. And I'll tell you this much. I guarantee you, Paul George, he's not hanging out with Clippers personnel.
No. I wouldn't want to hang out with Steve Ballmer, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
You have
pretty freaking cool, man.
You have
pretty cool.
The initial picture, golfing with the crew.
That's right.
Keegan there, being the leader.
Smiling Keegan.
The biggest smile.
The biggest smile I think we've ever seen.
They probably said, Keegan, I'll stay if you smile. Okay, you have that. You then have this second golf outing that Nate has just leaked.
Yep.
Where else can you get leaked info on Malik Monk? You then have Harrison Barnes on his Instagram doing a Q&A,
right?
And someone saying, hey, Harrison, can you ask Malik to stay? Harrison responds to the Q&A and tags Malik Monk, even Harrison Barnes, the politician, doing his part. You then have a sponsored Lexus promo video of
very sponsored.
Very sponsored.
Very sponsored.
Davion Mitchell and Malik Monk driving around the beautiful city of Sacramento, eating good
wonderful.
food,
Oh my gosh.
hanging
out
out,
a punch bowl,
talking about what it means to have that type of chemistry between teammates and a team, and why it's so important. Chris, I mean,
man,
feeling good.
Feeling really good.
And before we better feel good now, because once we read this Bleacher Report article, we might not feel as good. But right now, as of 11:07, Malik Monk, he loves Sacramento.
And we went through it yesterday too. I'm feeling good knowing that the Kings have more than just the option that's been laid out. I think a lot of us were under the impression that the Kings were really stuck at that 4-year, $77 million contract. And after reading Keith Smith's article on Spotrac yesterday, learning that the Kings can essentially get a little creative and in a not so crazy way, get Malik to a 4-year, $100 million contract. It's we're almost full steam ahead on this Malik Monk train. I'm almost there. I'm like one more sponsored video away from being all in on Malik. He's staying. It just would be a fact at that point. So
he's
I'm really
close.
inching towards getting to delusion territory.
That's why I just want the playoffs to end.
Just end. Just be over. I just need this process to pick up.
Just throw the white flag, give it to the Nuggets or the Celtics, whatever. Just get to free agency because you just want to know.
Yeah.
You just want to know.
I better not see Malik in Florida once.
Where are you?
I don't
You
wanna see
will.
a single picture.
Because that's what's going to stink when he starts the other process.
The counter recruiting.
Yeah, when he starts
driving the price up.
Yeah, when that first picture of Malik at a Florida golf course is going to hurt my soul.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Even if he's just hanging out, because you know what, you ever
like a shot of rubbing alcohol.
You ever had that? Back in the day. I mean, I'm out of the game now, but back in the day, you're talking to somebody, and you don't know who else they're talking. This is before I always said online dating, but dating apps and dating apps now, they just got full rosters. And you just have to figure out where you fall on the roster. My buddies have told me horror stories, but back in the day, you're trying to figure out,
we're
am I the
talking?
only person? And then they say, she was out with Jimmy, not too long ago,
or just out in general.
You're just out. I saw her talking.
Oh, that's why I didn't get a text.
I saw her
back?
talking to Jimmy.
Devastating.
And then your buddy tells you, and it depends on what type of buddy it is.
Right.
The buddy that wants to make you feel better says,
clowning,
trust me.
Yeah.
Jimmy ain't got nothing on you, bro. Don't worry about that. Then the buddy, on the other side.
Right.
Of,
hey, bro,
I mean,
you see
and
that?
he had that new Jordan too. He looking kind of fitted. That's just gonna happen.
Sitting next to each other.
I mean, bro,
know.
I'm just gonna say their hands might have been touching. I'm just
their hands were touching.
Fam. They were at the movie theater. What were they watching? The Notebook, fam. It's over for you. It's over.
That was in theaters 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They found the only theater.
That's the last time I was in the streets.
Damn,
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's going to feel similar to that for sure. Yeah, like if he's, I mean, I'm sure he won't be posting pictures of like, oh yeah, meeting with, or here's the picture of Orlando's wonderful practice facility or whatever.
Don't give the Taj Mahal.
Marks, whatever Bobby Marks was talking about. But I think, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna him at the Alamo or something like that at the riverfront in San Antonio.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to any of that. But I mean, I do think that there's something here. Like there's some smoke, at least to the fact that the Kings are letting their everything be known. I mean, the fact that we now know that there's a possibility of a 4-year, $100 million contract. It's just nice to know that, I mean, with all of these golf outings and things like that, like there is a clear line of communication between these two. How many times have we heard in free agency, nah, I haven't talked to them since the season ended. That was the last time we spoke. And, we'll speak again when we get to the negotiation table. Those never sound like they are going well. The fact that this is at the very least an open line of communication makes me feel positive that at the very least the Kings are doing everything they can to let their interest in Malik be known. And I think he knows that already, and that was never the question. But just to have that honesty out there, I think is good.
Different situation based on how it ended, but Kevin Durant, when he was done with the Warriors, I mean, he was ducking calls.
Yes, yeah.
They said that they were calling
them.
him, and he was not picking up calls. So there's that, and then there's the other side of a guy who really has no intention of leaving, and I would put Malik really closer to the good part than the KD part.
Yeah.
He's doing the opposite. Because the other thing is this. He doesn't have to post any of this stuff, right? He could, hey, obviously this is
to do this,
right.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is who he's, cool with. This is his crew, but he knows what posting it is going to do.
Yeah.
And he's doing it anyway, which feels like a good sign as we try to keep the good vibes going. We're going to go through Grant Hughes' Bleacher Report article on free agents, and I don't think it'll make you feel as good, but we're going to get through this together, Sacramento. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's pest damage protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Like 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. Switch today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See
George and more. We're going to go through them just because we're going to make you squirm until we get to Malik Monk. So let's start with Klay Thompson. He has Klay Thompson returning to the Warriors. I think that feels pretty. That's what I've been saying, man. And I don't think that's good for the Malik Monk situation. But he thinks Klay Thompson is going to return to the Warriors. What do you think about that, Chris?
I think it definitely could happen. I think the Warriors want it to happen, which makes it more likely. But I do think that Orlando is going to offer him some money. And I think Klay will take a bigger offer if it's out there.
Okay.
I think Klay is looking for his own respect.
Paul George, and you've been on that. That's where you've been at. Paul George will be a Sixer.
I don't like that.
Says Grant Hughes. Well, at least he leaves the Western Conference.
That is very true. I kind of like it for Paul George. For the Sixers, I just don't think that's it. It feels like more of the same for them. It feels like that's a conference finalist team that is going to flame out at the end. I do like Paul George, but he does have a pretty bad reputation in the playoffs, right? Playoff P usually doesn't show up. And when you have Joel Embiid, whose injury history is checkered to say the least, I just don't know if that's going to be it makes sense for them to try it. I just don't know if that's going to be the move that puts them over the hump.
I just don't think that the Sixers are going to do it in the Joel Embiid era.
Yeah.
There's just will always be something, whether it's injury, whatever it
yeah.
is. And now with what happened this past season, I feel like, and as funny as it sounds, I feel like because maybe they beat the Warriors that year, but if it wasn't for that shot, right? I think that was it for the Sixers.
Right.
That was
you have one killed them.
So you know who the Sixers kind of remind me of? And I just thought about this off the top of my head. They kind of remind me of the Buffalo Bills, where they both had a window.
Yeah.
They missed the window.
Yeah.
People are so convinced they still have a window,
right?
But they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
They're still going to be competitive, but the championship window, and maybe the Bills have a bigger window than the Sixers.
Oh, you mean
because
the current Bills? I thought you meant like the Bills that lost 4
No, I'm talking about the Bills now. I'm talking about the
Gotcha.
Bills now and how they had an opportunity, they lost in overtime, and they just haven't. Now they just lose to the Chiefs, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I don't. Good on the
Always
Sixers
second,
if they can
never
do. Yeah, but now you have other teams now. The Bills. You got to deal with the rise of the Texans, and the Ravens aren't going anywhere. So I feel like the Sixers and the Bills. There's some parallels there. Next, you have kind of a smaller name to a younger team, Patrick Williams to the Toronto Raptors. We don't really need to say too much. Oh, I've hit the Malik Monk one, but I'm going to skip over it for now and come back to it. Tobias Harris and Fontecchio get shockingly similar deals. Basically, they're telling Tobias Harris, yeah, you got your money, buddy. You're not ever getting that again.
Yep, and that's Brendan's guy Fontecchio too. It could just be that people are really high on Fontecchio, like Brendan is.
That's true. Isaiah Hartenstein will get more guaranteed money. So these are just some predictions, not necessarily where they're going. Isaiah Hartenstein will get more guaranteed money than Nick Claxton, he says.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Nick Claxton, I just know that Brooklyn really, really wants to keep Nick Claxton. And I don't know how many people are going to be shelling out a lot of money for free agent centers, especially Hartenstein's been amazing, but I think he's just a really, really quality backup center. I know he's obviously started here, but for the Knicks, but I don't know who's going to be shelling out a ton of money for, a center who doesn't shoot. Like he's really just a great hustle guy. He's not really somebody who's going to be scoring 15 points a game or anything like that. So
right.
I don't know how much money he'll actually get.
Next prediction, Tyus Jones will sign for more total money than D'Angelo Russell.
Ooh. Well, that could be because Tyus Jones is going to sign a multi-year deal. And is anyone going to sign D'Angelo Russell to anything besides a 1-year deal?
Yeah.
I don't know why you would. Like, who is going to lock up D'Lo for 3 more years? I just feel like he's at the point where you have no idea what you're going to get year to year. He's almost like he's kind of like a Dennis Schroeder to me, and where he's entering this period of almost like a mercenary.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. James Harden will get just 1 guaranteed year.
Yeah, and I haven't looked a ton into his free agency because he's obviously out of the Kings' range, but that might be, again, another one where it's like, I just don't know how many teams are even competing. I would think that the Clippers probably have the best shot of keeping him, and maybe maybe it's just kicking the can a year down the line, but I really don't know what James's future has in store, because who's going to sign up for that James Harden experience anymore?
Yeah, and maybe he's over it. I mean, it's crazy to think he's been in the league 15 years. And if they lose Paul George, they essentially have to keep James Harden.
Yes.
You don't want to open that dome with
Kawhi.
With Kawhi's dusty knees.
way.
You don't want to do that.
No way.
Next, the Denver Nuggets will lose 2 rotation players.
Ooh,
and that's
KCP for
KCP.
Sure.
And then the other picture, is my guy Reggie Jackson. So that'll be interesting. DeAnthony Melton will get $60 million. That is what. Yeah, I know.
Who's got this money in free agency is my question. Who's paying Melton $60 million?
All right, you ready for Malik Monk?
Let's do it.
He says Malik Monk gets very close to $100 million. Malik Monk has never been better positioned to cash in than he is right now, expecting to take advantage of his situation as one of the top scoring threats available in free agency. That's bad news for the Sacramento Kings, who can only offer their elite 6-man $78 million over 4 years unless they make major changes throughout the roster to free up cap space. Now we know there's some wiggle room there, to be fair. The scoring-starved Orlando Magic should be in the mix for his services, with the desperate Detroit Pistons also likely to be interested. The Toronto Raptors have a void at the 2. I first time hearing about the Raptors.
They were active for him at the deadline.
Yeah.
They were asking for him in the OG and in the Pascal trade.
And the San Antonio Spurs should be chasing anyone who can both shoot and pass. All of them will run the risk of spending big on a player coming off a career season in a contract year, but the competition is still going to juice up Monk's price well beyond Sacramento's range. Smack in his prime at 26, coming off 2 straight top 5 finishes, 6th man of the year. He should have won this past season. And last season's leader in assist rate on drives, Monk is going to get a deal that will feel shockingly rich, or at least it'll seem that way to observers who don't realize he averaged 21.3 points, 7.1 assists, 4.1 rebounds per 36 minutes last season. Smart teams know Monk's bench roles suppress his production, and that he's a quality starter worthy of a 4-year deal in the $90 to $95 million range. Framed that way, maybe the bolder prediction would be to say Monk will wind up back in Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, that's with the thought that, like we all had, that there's the most that they could offer is $78 million.
Mm-hmm.
But if the prediction itself is Malik will get very close to $100 million, I mean, even the Kings can throw $100 million at him, I think there's no reason. I mean,
It's not the same $100 million though.
Sure, it's not, but it's, I don't think if the contract itself is $100 million, I don't know if the taxes that are taken off in California are enough to say, okay, this is a better. I still feel like at the end of the day, that money is marginal. It still is definitely millions of dollars that he's missing out on, but
right.
For the most part, it's not anything I would assume he's going to think, oh, I'll notice that couple million gone. So I would think if the Kings can give him the $100 million contract, I have no fear. I mean, everything that was listed in that was just the fact that those teams have a need for him, not necessarily he would want to. It makes a lot of sense for him to go there. It's just they have a need and they have the money. Well, if Sacramento has the money, I don't know what makes those other situations more enticing than Sacramento. Significantly more enticing.
Well, and if it is, because the thing is, if it is 90, the difference between 90 and 100 is quite a bit. So 100 mil for 4 years. Yeah, that's that 25 that we were talking about, but he's not even saying that. It's close enough to where, again, if he wants to be in Sacramento, we're not pocket watching. It is millions of dollars each season, but it's not an egregious difference. Right. So he said 95 would be egregious, but if it's closer to that 90, it's not as egregious, right?
Sure. I mean, the Kings, they can throw the $100 million at him. So I would have to hear a reason why why Orlando is a significantly better option for him than Sacramento. I could understand an argument, but in terms of, yes, I'm going to pack everything up and leave, I think it has to be significant for Malik to say, okay, I'm going to leave, even though it's pretty much the same money.
Coming up next, we start our combine update. Bronny talks about playing with his pops and who he wants to model his game after. Spoiler alert, one is a Sacramento King. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday is going to feel plenty warm out there. Toasty, if you will, this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine to be expected. Highs will peak today in the low to mid-90s. Expect overnight lows to drop back to the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we buy from ourselves. Right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. See our certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass. Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details and 6324.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
The combine rolls on. Chris and I, there was a game on a little bit earlier. Started out 19-0. Just bad ball.
It's a tough one. Yeah, that is one thing, is that these, especially during Summer League too, it turns into really, really bad basketball. And just like guys, I mean, respect to them, but they're trying to eat, they're trying to get contracts. And so they start to put on a bit. Not a lot of ball movements happening.
Would you
They
rather?
came back though.
They did come back. Yeah,
so
it's
they
only a
came back.
2-point game.
I was surprised
right
when
now.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's even worse.
Which tells you exactly what team got spotted 19 points, and
then one team then blew. I mean, that's just the NBA right now. Would you rather watch combine?
Oh man.
Would you rather watch combine
scrimmages or whatever this is,
or the Big Three?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the NFL combine.
I would say probably the Big Three, because at the very least I get the moment. First off, at the very least, Big Three, I recognize who's in front of me,
right.
But I can get, there's a nice flow to it, and I'm here for a random Catino Mobley midi or something like that.
Right. Well, then you're going to get the, oh shoot, I forgot about that guy.
Oh, Al Harrington, what?
And that brings me to something else, right? With this whole worst draft in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
If you're in the draft this year, and we talk about having that dog in you, are all these prospects, do they have like a group chat together saying, we're going to prove them wrong?
Right.
I mean, you're part of the worst draft class they're saying in the last 25 years. Is it who's going to be the guy on the podium to take some pride and just talk about it? And maybe it's already happened and I haven't seen it, to say, hey, we know it's supposed to be a bad draft, but there's some dogs in here. We're going to prove some people wrong. And then who's going to be wrong about that?
Exactly.
There's multiple layers here, but I do feel like if I was coming out in the draft, and obviously I'm just happy to be getting drafted, but the idea that this draft class is so bad,
right?
There has to be some conversation. There's one dude in there that says, guys, we ain't gonna get disrespected like this. We're going to show them.
It's the first draft where, the first pick in the draft has a chip on his shoulder.
Exactly.
It's like,
and it wouldn't matter.
Everybody doubted me.
It would actually make sense, because they would say, hey, that's normally a 6th or 7th guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, no, I can be a franchise piece, okay? No one thinks I can be a everyone thinks I'm going to be a bench player my entire career.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I'm lucky, if I hit my cards, if everything ends up good for me, I can maybe be a 6th or 7th guy. No, I mean, it's definitely interesting for sure how these guys are going to react to it, because, it's going to get brought up even more. But Giannis was found in that 2013 draft where everybody said it was the worst draft ever. And there'll be gems in this. Somebody will rise above what is apparently going to be trash. And I think that's why the Kings are so well positioned at 13 if they do want to stick there. That's usually the spot as we've gone down the Devin Bookers, Kobe and Zach LaVines of the world. Those guys have all been picked at number 13, and there's people who've been picked all the way up to 15 and 16 as well. that's really where you could end up finding the best players in these drafts. So that's where it becomes a little bit tough when you talk about the Kings trading that pick.
I mean, I'm sitting here, Chris, and I'm not even gonna lie to you because this name has come up and I hadn't seen anything. What's wrong? I've only watched, and we're gonna talk about how to properly watch highlights because I'm terrible at watching highlights. Because I'm watching Alex Sarr highlights. What's the problem? That's Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
What is the problem? Chris, he's got a
seen
midi. He's shooting threes. He's bringing the ball up the court. He's 7'1". What is the issue? This guy is not going to be a rotational player in the league. This guy's a normal seventh pick of the draft.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I haven't watched a ton of this weekend is when I was going to start to pick up on all the draft watching and the film and all that stuff. But, I would guess it maybe has something to do with his percentages. Maybe it's, the role that he has with his team. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with Alex Sarr, but like Wemby was averaging 20 something points per game, was the best player on his team, and his team was making some noise. I don't know if Alex Sarr is just on like a middling team in this French division or anything like that.
That could be it. But I'm telling you.
I'm seeing it. He is 7'1", and I'm seeing a lot of drives to the lane.
He's not slow.
Middies, shooting threes. Maybe the question is his aggressiveness as well. I'm really not sure, but I'm really interested to look into this draft class to answer that exact question of like, what is so wrong? Or is it just, is it the ceilings of these guys? Is it that people think that they are already developed and maxed out? I'm not quite sure, but it is really interesting that just everybody universally, because you would think at this point in the process, someone would say, it's getting overhyped how bad this class is.
That's
There's
coming. Don't
gems.
worry. That's coming.
I'm waiting.
It's
waiting
coming.
Because somebody's got to have that take.
That is my
I guess
take.
you're kind of starting it now.
That is my take.
Yeah.
We got gems.
Yeah.
We have a lot of gems in here. And whether this guy will be a gem or not talking about Alex Sarr right now, whether this guy will be a gem or not, Bronny James. And Bronny James was asked the question that everybody really has been, I guess, wondering, right? How much do you want to play with your dad?
Mm-hmm.
How important is that to you? And Bronny probably downplayed it a little bit, but this is what he had to say.
People made a big thing about it. One time your dad was like, "Oh, it's like my dream to play with my son." But I don't know if anybody'd ever asked you, did you ever dream about playing with your dad, for you, or what went to it from your perspective?
No, never. My dream has always just been to put my name out, make a name for myself, and of course, get to the NBA, which is everyone's end goal is here. And I never thought about just playing with my dad, but he's brought it up a couple of times. But yeah, I don't think about it much.
LeBron is just like every other AAU dad out there.
Yep, literally. He sounds like him
his
too.
Son to live his dream.
It sounds like he could do a really good LeBron impression.
Oh, I'm sure. I think they've done it before.
I've seen,
I think Bryce is the one who really nails it too.
He looks like him, but he's just a foot shorter.
Yeah, and that's good. So that Nate, you missed a good one because we had a whole conversation about the in shoe, out of shoe thing with Bronny. You would have loved it.
I'm sure I would.
I had a field day with it.
I should have called in.
You should have. You should have. So how tall is LeBron without shoes on? Does what is that?
Let me see if it exists.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm starting to understand.
I would guess probably 6'7.5" if I had to guess without shoes.
Okay.
I just want to say too, while you're looking this up, that report is really nice for going, hey, I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this question.
Right. Great question.
Do you even I'm surprised it took this long. It took a year and a half or 2 years for someone to be like, maybe we should ask the guy LeBron's talking about.
Right.
Bronny's just rolling his eyes every time his dad brings it. He's like, Dad, can you?
No one cares about me.
You're gonna get me not drafted.
Yeah,
I'm 5'9".
You're yes, you are. All right.
LeBron is 6'7" and a quarter without shoes.
Ooh, almost on the dot, Chris.
6'7" and a quarter without shoes.
6'7" and a quarter without shoes. Bronny is 6'1.5".
Yes,
without shoes.
Yeah, I think Bryce got the height in the family.
Interesting.
Carmelo, I'm just looking at it now. Carmelo was 6'6" and a quarter.
Carmelo
without shoes.
This no shoe thing is.
It could be the new
Wade,
Wade,
eye
right?
opener.
I mean, Dwayne Wade 6'3" and 3/4 without shoes. for what it's worth.
Why are you
that's
looking
looking
at
at
all
the
these?
2003 draft.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but that's interesting because Dwayne Wade was listed at 6'4".
Right. So this was
So
actually
did he was he
accurate.
playing in Vans?
Yeah,
What's going
he's
on
KD,
here?
You know, he's like, I'm gonna.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is always a
Pipe
weird
it down.
strategy. The KD thing was always. I know everyone freaked out about it, but to just say you're shorter than you are,
Yeah,
but
he's
then
the
you get on
only-
the court and it's like it just doesn't matter. I don't get it.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't. It does never.
Well,
makes
he
sense
did
to me.
it because he didn't want to be labeled as a big man.
Right.
He wanted.
He
to be
hates labels. This
He
guy's
does.
so.
No, he really does.
What a.
It's very consistent.
This shoe thing is crazy because I'm watching this commercial yesterday with Jokic, and
Mhm.
Jokic and Peyton Watson were walking
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
commercial.
Yeah,
And they're the same size.
Yeah.
And Peyton Watson is listed at 6'7".
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm telling you.
Well, there's like a weird picture too of like I think it's DeMarcus when he was playing with Team USA. He's like standing. It's like KD, DeMarcus, DeAndre Jordan, and it shows what they're all listed as. And
Yeah.
like KD's 6'10".
Oh, yeah, yeah,
DeMarcus
yeah.
is 6'11", and I think DeAndre's 7 foot. But it goes the complete opposite, where KD's the tallest, DeMarcus is in the middle, and DeAndre's like 6'9".
I'm telling you, man, it's something else. All right, before we get to who Bronny wants to model his game after, let's get to our guy TC, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Alan, Chris, what's going on?
Not too much, man. Enjoying the combine.
Yeah, and enjoying the combine. And hey, Alan, look, man. Hey, listen, bro. It's all good. Hey, you know I had to mess with you, bro, on Mother's Day, man. Hey, you know we had to chill you out for that, bro.
Oh
But it's all
my
love, bro.
goodness! I know. I heard it.
It's all love. I want to tap in and tell you that first and foremost. But hey, look, check it out. Hey, I know. I hope it's not too much off topic because I know we're talking Kings. But hey, man, I want to talk to all the Kings fans, man, and people around. Hey, I don't care about those picks, bro. Like if it's taking 2 or 3 picks, maybe even 4 and a couple players to get Brandon Ingram here, that's the move. As Kings fans, we can't keep talking about we have to go all in. We're trying to get a guy. You're not going to get a guy, bro, for Harrison Barnes and Davion Mitchell and 4 second-round picks. That's not going to happen, bro. I don't care about those picks. If that's what it takes to get B.I. here, get him here, bro. To put him with Sabonis, Fox, and you're not giving up Keegan, and then we can bring Monk back. At that point, Monk is like, hey, I'm coming back for sure, bro.
Right.
You guys are getting B.I. Let's run it. Let's get it. So you got to use your head, Kings fans, bro. Give up those. I don't care about those picks. When it comes to getting a name like a B.I., get that guy in the building and worry about everything else later. That's what I got.
Thanks for the call, TC, as always. Yeah, and I was seeing something, Chris, with most people want Brandon Ingram, but then there are also people, not just for the Kings, but a couple different teams that were trying to figure out, is Brandon Ingram a guy that can take you over the top?
Yeah.
And I think that's also a conversation. That lineup, when we say that line, I think that lineup is much better than the current lineup, but is it getting you there? As you're watching playoff hoops every single night, you add Brandon Ingram and what version of Brandon Ingram to this Kings team, is that fully getting you over the top? If you're bringing back Malik Monk, everybody's in the pool. Is that enough to get you over the top? I think that is a question that we'll continue to talk about, especially based on what you have to give up. And you know Keegan is an untouchable to a lot of us out here. When we return, who does Bronny James model his game after? Here's a hint. It's a Sacramento King. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Chrysler's It's the Season sales event?
This month, save up to $10,500 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 1500s. That means you can get your hands on one of America's favorite trucks starting at only $36,995. And with over 500 new Ram trucks available, you're sure to find the right truck for you.
But why drive all the way to Hoblet?
We do things different here at Hoblet. You're not just a number. When you buy from Hoblet, you become family. There's a reason we are California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation. We have big city selection selection and savings. With the small town feel, you can't find it in Auto Mall.
Now is the time to get the new Ram truck of your dreams. Stop by for a test drive or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HoblettDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
10,500 total net savings on new 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorns after 5,500 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. 10th net savings. 36,995 net price on new 2024 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn after 2,500 factory rebates. Sample VIN 140408. See dealer for details.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Letch, Jake Owen,
Walker Hayes,
Brian Kelly,
Drew Baldridge,
Brian Martin,
Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthew.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPfest.com. That's CITPfest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Gurnick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
When Bronny was asked who he wants to model his game after, the names that he said: Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Davion Mitchell.
Sir, 3 completely different players in my eyes. But interesting. I mean, yeah, if he's gonna
the Derek White, we could probably take out.
Yeah, that'd be a little too offensively minded.
Yeah.
Not that Derek White's not Derek White's like the perfect combo player. Drew Holiday, it's an all-star. I mean, whatever. I think the bigger point is there. Maybe he's more saying I'm going to be a defensively minded player, and that's going to be first and foremost what he's going to bring is like a defensive tenacity, and at least there is some sort of self-recognition there, right? Like he's not saying Donovan Mitchell and guys who are elite scorers and just elite players. He should, at the very least, he's like, no, I understand if I'm going to make a living here, I'm going to have to, at the very least, find a productive role for me. At the very least, his head's on straight, which, when you're literally LeBron James Jr. in your whole life, everyone has probably told you, you're going to be great. You're going to be one of the best players ever. You have these great genes and, legacy to fill and all this stuff. The fact that he's not out there saying like, oh yeah, I grew up watching Kobe, love Kobe. I'm going to try and emulate him. I think at the very least, he has an understanding of what he has to do to make it in the NBA. And that's first and foremost, be a defensive dog.
So I have something, and I think it's not completely random, but it kind of is. Okay. And I didn't really know what to do with it.
Okay.
So there's a guy, he's on social media. He'll talk, football, basketball, whatever it is. And somewhat often he'll bring up his actual job and he'll bring up his family, never uses his family's names, but he's open about, he's got 2 sons. I think one is already in college and one is one is in college, one is in high school, as LeBron is in the building at the
literally just walked in
at the combine. Yeah. And this guy, he posts something, and I want to know, I don't know if it's fair or foul, but I did just find it kind of funny. So this guy, his son is a track star, right? He's trying to get, I think he might be the one that's already, he might already be in college doing track, or he's about to go to college doing track, and he's pretty darn good. And the guy says, wow, Bronny's son's vert is, 40 point something, right? 40 point something inches.
Mm-hmm.
My son's vert, who he does high jump, my son's vert, I think he said was 46 inches. And then he just said, crazy to think that I have a kid who jumps higher than LeBron James's kid. And he got pretty good traction on it. And I just thought it was kind of a funny flex in a way. But I mean, would you feel juiced if, man, I had a kid who's more athletic than LeBron James's kid? I didn't really know what to do with it.
I mean, I guess it's a cool self flex in the thought of like, yeah, like I to get into the weeds of it, but it's saying. Like I produce goats. Okay, I produce more goats than the goats.
Are your genes better than LeBron's? Is that what you're saying?
What is he? That's what he's getting at there. That's essentially what he is getting at. Yes, is that he, in theory, can produce better athletes than maybe the best athlete that we've ever seen, ever. Period. Which is like, I get, like, I would probably like, that's maybe something that I would cross my mind, but I probably almost definitely wouldn't have put it on Twitter. But yeah, it's, it's a cool flex. I would definitely do it in my personal life. But yeah, to put it out on socials and to be actually flexing about it that's definitely a decision for sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
You get it.
I get it. I wouldn't publicly say it like that, but I would personally be hyped if I'm like, back Alan, come on. Back in my day, I used to pack that thing too. Okay?
No, I have it here because Bronny was 40.5-inch max vert, right? Okay. And he goes, my oldest measured a 46-inch vert.
Which is insane,
it is,
by the way.
It is. He's definitely the one in college.
Record, right?
It is the one in college. Crazy to think my son can jump higher than LeBron's. Ha ha. That's all mom, though. So, yeah. And then somebody did respond and say, you actually, your kid would have had a higher vert than everybody there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
that's
mean?
an
Not just
all-time-
LeBron's
not
son.
just LeBron.
I just think
But
I think it's definitely a flex, but it is definitely kind of picky choosy, right?
Yeah, but I think the point is
because you can do this with a lot of stuff.
He's again trying to flex himself. I don't think it's actually. It's like it's saying, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get into the specifics, but again, like he's just saying, like I can produce more studs.
Like
than
if your
LeBron
kid
can.
was,
That's what he's saying. I mean,
if someone had a kid that was the same age as Charlie Woods and beat Charlie Woods in a golf tournament, you'd say, I have better golf genes than Tiger?
No, but I just say that I trained my son better than Tiger Woods trained his son.
Honestly,
I think it's more just saying because Vert is just a straight athletic like you can do as many box jumps as you want. You're not going to make up. You're not going to get 6 extra inches of leap. Like So I think it's more saying the athletic ability in my genes are stronger than the athletic genes of, again, one of, if not the greatest athlete we've ever seen.
That's just one dimension, though.
Well, I mean, it's a joke. Like, I mean, I don't think he was being like, I don't think he was actually trying to, break down or be analytical. I think he was just making a funny observation.
Yeah. I thought it was funny because I didn't really know what to do with that.
Just laugh.
No.
It's a witty, funny tweet. That's what it was.
Whitey will probably like that. You guys will
I don't think so. I don't think he would.
You guys will laugh at it later in crosstalk, and I'll sit here awkwardly. All right. When we return, some player size comps for some of the top prospects and how to properly watch highlights. Chris Watkins is going to teach us, specifically myself, how to properly watch highlights. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
We see a lot of news about teens vaping, but teens see something else. Videos on social media that glamorize it and downplay the dangers of nicotine. How can parents talk so kids will listen? Use facts. 1. Nicotine can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can make teens more anxious. 3. Changes to the brain can be permanent. So even when it hides behind a new look, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Madam Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest Damage Protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
It's better
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Like 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. Switch today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants. Did you know we love country music? Our Bennett's team will be setting up our Country in the Park kitchen to serve all country music fans. We will be grilling and preparing your favorite foods from Bennett's: giant cheeseburgers, chicken or mushroom Caesar salads, and of course our legendary barbecued ribs and fried chicken. Did I mention crispy hot French fries? And most of our meals are gluten-free friendly. We will have a covered eating pavilion, so catch a bite, enjoy a bit of shade, and of course all the great country music with Bennett's. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
It's Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I've been rolling the past few months in my new Mercedes EQS electric SUV. My EQS is without a doubt the best looking fully electric SUV on the road. Friends tell me it's got the most stunning interior of any car they've ever ridden in. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They have redefined what top-notch customer service feels like. They are simply the best. A half hour from SAC, a short drive off the I-5 right at the 8 Mile Road exit. It's the best car buying experience you'll ever have, and it's always online at mbofstockton.com.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Somebody is asking family on Sack Chat, how tall is this guy's kid? Shoes off, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. Family. But
I always feel like it's cheating when, like guys are, like 5'6" or whatever, and they're, doing all the 100 pull-ups and things. And I feel like doing all the backflips. I feel like it's cheat code when you're that small.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, what?
I don't know. It just feels like those shorter people.
Not
have
verts. That doesn't help your vert being smaller, I don't think.
No, not necessarily.
You mean
but
like
I just feel
athletic,
I just feel like
stuff?
there's some twitchy stuff that goes on with the smaller guys because there's less weight to kind of throw around, And usually, just as a general statement.
Some yes, I don't know about verts though. But for example,
what do you mean?
I don't think vertical leap helps you if you're smaller.
Oh no, I mean not necessarily. There's not necessarily advantages to being smaller. I just think shorter people sometimes tend to have just crazy athleticism.
Well, you got you got to
again. There's just less weight that's involved distributed throughout the body.
For example, there are certain workouts for me that taller guys will not struggle with, but just because I lift more than them, I don't I don't think I'm necessarily stronger than them. I think it makes more sense, right? So if I can squat more than a guy that's 6'6", I don't necessarily think my legs are stronger. I think that it's easier for me to squat.
Sure.
And I would say the same thing with.
I just always see those videos of people at the gyms doing like the air run thing. You know how like they'll kick their, and I just feel like it's always the people who are but like under 5'8".
Well, and when I watch American Ninja Warrior, the warriors are always pretty small.
Exactly.
Yeah. To be fair,
and if they are taller,
nimble,
I saw an NFL player do it, and it was terrible.
Do what? No, Ninja Warrior.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't
too
like
big.
imagine Wembanyama doing that. It's just not
he
gonna make any
can't.
sense.
Well, he would be able to just walk through.
Yeah,
the
take a step. Yeah.
Thing to thing.
He would be able to just get there. All right, before we get to how to properly watch highlights, guided by one Chris Watkins, let's get to the phone lines here. We got a couple of our guys we want to get to. Let's get to JR. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
Hey, first of all, Stiles, you probably could hit the ball better than the whole starting lineup of the Giants right now. So
guaranteed.
It's possible, JR. It is quite possible. It's bad out there.
And I'm pretty sure the wet blanket could play offensive lineman better than anyone on Minnesota right now. So
Very doubtful. Very doubtful. I'm soft. I'm
Hey, talking about the tall and short thing.
Yeah.
And thanks a lot, Christopher Watkins, for ridiculing anyone that's a munchkin.
No, I'm impressed. I'm envious.
Oh, okay, yeah, way to retract. Steal some more food from the grocery store and eat it in the aisle.
That's not me. That's not me at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, talking about Zach Edey real quick.
Yeah.
So he's a perfect example. I watch him run. He looks like Mr. Larson from friggin' Happy Gilmore. You guys even know who that is.
Yes.
But he looks like him running. If someone gets a hold of him in the NBA, the first thing they should probably do is just have him go to a track coach. Nothing on the court. Just teach him how to run properly with arms. And then maybe get him into boxing or some kind of martial art. Because I always feel like some of these NBA guys that are that stature probably just need some physical adaptation to basketball at a higher level. And maybe it's a different sport that generates that kind of athleticism. Now, he's pretty tall. It might be difficult, but God, I really like that guy. And if there was some way someone could get a hold of him and do that for a year or so and give him that ability to be on a court with the NBA level, I just think he could adapt and be good. I'd love to see him on the Kings. He just seems like he'd bring a really cool attitude to this already great team that loves each other, hanging out, driving around town. I just saw them driving by me. Oh, there they go. There they go. They're driving around in their Lexus.
There you go.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call, JR.
Yes.
Well, and the thing is, and I heard Dave talking about this in the morning show, what's so bizarre to me, and I got to get through the highlight tape, but it is bizarre to me how Donovan Clingan is
he just
not
gets the benefit of the doubt
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He
With
lost to
way
them
worse numbers
back to back.
Edey's numbers are crazy.
Edey was actually, to JR's point, Edey was faster than Clingan at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand. It's not that I don't understand why Edey is where he is.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Clingan is where he is. I don't understand the difference between these guys, but I got to get to the highlights.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I have seen more of, until March Madness, I saw more of Edey than Clingan, but I did watch them straight up, and that's when we were out doing our live event as well. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Will, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Will? What you got for us?
What's up, fellas? Man, I've been boycotting because of then I don't even want to watch the playoffs, man.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of depressing, man.
Yeah, no.
But you guys, but little bro, see, vertical leap, man, that's overrated. Look, you got what's his name? Nate Robinson won NBA dunk contest a couple times, and then you had this little white kid the last couple of years won it twice. He can't even break in the league,
right?
So all that don't matter. But Bron, see, little Bron, it's not his daddy, man. People keep forgetting. He ain't LeBron, man.
Yeah.
He's 18, 19. He's going to be a good player, but he ain't going to be his dad. And then I think the Kings should go ahead and just draft that kid from Baylor, Jacoby Walter, and call it a day, man. We can't take any chances on another Euro guy. We can't do that. And I'm going to go to this. Ben Simmons was the number 1 overall pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a flop.
Right.
He was a flop. There's always going to be something like that's going to happen every now and then. You can't predict. I mean, this guy was supposed to be all world, okay? That he's a flop. And then we passed Luka. Luka can't jump. Luka can't jump a lick.
Yeah.
But he kills you. I mean, we picked Marvin Bagley. And now let me ask you guys this question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to have Gary Payton II on the Kings roster?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't drafted.
He sure wasn't.
Right.
So, see, what I'm saying is there's a lot that go into, you guys know this. There's a lot that go into this, all that vertical and all that kind of stuff. Lou Brown going to be a good player. He ain't going to be no star. But there's a lot of guys in the league, that is from 1 to 15 on that bench.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Will, as always. And really, even if they only play a couple years together, right? 1 or 2 years, LeBron says, hey, I'm going to ride off into the sunset. We just have never seen this specifically in basketball for it to be so close together between a father leaving and then a son leaving. Normally, whether it's, a lot of these guys, whether it's Steph and Dell or Klay Thompson and his dad, Michael Thompson, all these guys, by the time, or, Hardaway and Hardaway Jr., by the time the other dude comes by, we got to fire up the highlight tapes to see what their pops did, right? Maybe not our parents, but there're not a lot of guys, or there are not a lot of situations where it's just so immediate. So it's so easy to compare the difference, right? Like we said, Michael Jordan's kids didn't even get to the league. No. So it's going to seem so odd to watch because it's so close together, but this is kind of the norm, right? If your dad was, it's tough. Who is the last father-son duo that were both studs? There might be two in the league.
Well, NBA, I don't know.
You know what I mean? They might be both in the league, but both stars, right? Either one is a star and one isn't. Del Curry and Steph Curry. You know what I mean?
Del wasn't, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Steph is the star.
Yeah.
So now you have a father.
Maybe argue Sabonis.
So I thought about that too.
Yeah.
That's probably the closest thing.
Yeah.
And you have, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tim Hardaway Sr. I would give it to Tim Hardaway Sr.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Runaway. Absolutely.
There's just not a lot of. It's in your blood gets you to the league, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But the blood doesn't mean you're both going to be stars.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and it's such a rarity to even make the league. Like there's 100-something guys in the NBA or 200-something guys in the NBA. So to even be one of them is a huge accomplishment. I think it's interesting to hear Bronny say he doesn't, it's never been his goal or dream to play with Bron, because I just think ultimately it's going to happen. I just feel like he's not even going to. The thing that's interesting to me is when Bron's not there, what happens? Because right now it does feel like, look, I mean, no other freshman is scoring 5 points and then getting drafted. It's just not happening.
You don't think he's going to last very long?
No, my question is just how much of a leash does he have when LeBron's not there? If he goes to a situation where LeBron's not coming, if he gets drafted by Utah or OKC or something like that, how many years do people give him to develop? Is it going to be 2 years?
He gets a little bit longer than a normal guy. And then it's business is business. Right. If you're not making me money.
Is that G League development? No. Is that like 2 years in the G League and then we're talking NBA development? No. Like what, it's just, that's just the next layer.
But that was my question yesterday. How long are they planning on him being in the G League?
Yeah.
Well, just talking about the money they're going to make. That a whole season? He going to get pulled up like varsity?
Two-way at that too. I mean, right? Where you're going to give him a chance, or is he just going to get a straight up G League contract? I mean, if he gets drafted, he's going to be on a two-way contract. But that's the only way I can see him being in the league next year.
Greg Anthony and Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
Rick Barry and Brent
players,
Barry.
But
right. Or you'll
Barry,
get two both role, but two stars.
2 stars. I can't think of
Manute Bol and Bol.
One's a role. I mean, even Manute was
Melvin and Devin Booker.
Manute hosted SNL. That's something, right?
Oh, well, Bol didn't.
Yeah.
Joe Bryant and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, these are people who made the league. Yeah, father sons that made it.
Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson. No, I know, but even these were the 2 stars.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. No, it's happened before. I mean, KJ Martin and Kenyon Martin.
Peja and his son.
Peja and his son pretty soon. I don't think we've ever seen like a Bond situation or even like a Griffey. I mean, I guess the Currys are probably the closest you get because Dell was good. Austin, you could maybe argue, ruined the Doc and Austin combo.
Yeah.
Is Steph and Dell? That's just Peyton Manning and Archie Manning. You think?
That's probably the closest because Steph is the Peyton and Archie. Yeah, because Dell was good. He wasn't,
Yeah, I mean,
he
Archie
wasn't one of the top 10 players in the NBA.
I mean, you know who it was supposed to be, and he's not done yet, but he ain't getting any younger. Vladdy and Vlad Jr.
Oh yeah, no, sure.
Now Vladdy is the star, and Vlad Jr.
Yeah,
we don't even talk about Vlad Jr. anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Larry Nance Jr.
Larry Nance Jr. That's a good one too. I mean, Larry Nance Sr. is definitely the better of the two.
Gary Payton, GP2.
Yeah. It's felt like too, a lot with the exception of Steph, I guess. And it feels like a lot of these people too, their dads were always the better one too. Like how many of these examples are the kids actually the fully realized version of their parents?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's, Andrew Wiggins and Mitchell Wiggins, I guess.
Just got to that
right?
one.
Did you mention Klay Thompson?
That's, you know what? No, we haven't. And I think that's actually probably the best combination. Well, besides the Sabonis's. I mean, I really do think the Sabonis's are probably number one on this list. And I would probably put Michael and Klay at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Thompson was, that dude was sick. If I'm not mistaken, he was the 6th man on those Showtime teams. And, Klay obviously being top 5 shooters of all time.
Yeah.
That's probably, that's going to be an elite combo right there.
And next up, Chris's favorite player, Dale Davis and Trace Jackson Davis.
Oh, my God.
When we return, continue the conversation, how to properly watch all of these highlights that we are now watching with the Combine and the draft upon us. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday is going to feel plenty warm out there. Toasty, if you will, this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine to be expected. Highs will peak today in the low to mid 90s. Expect overnight lows to drop back to the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we buy from ourselves. Right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. See our certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
The draft, the Combine, is your chance to be a GM. And I'm just here grinding film, Chris. I grind film in the morning. I grind film in the evening. I grind film during the show. I grind film during the breaks. I grind film while I'm eating. I grind film while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
I grind film
in the lab.
I hate the way you walk. I hate the way you talk.
And I've never seen a bad player. Out of all the film that I've watched, every player is going to be great. Every player is going to be great. I don't know how to watch film, Chris. I don't know how to watch highlights. And then some of
It
them
can
are
be tough, for
24
sure.
minutes. I can't sit there for 24 minutes.
Yeah, those are the ones that are way too wild. Where it's like, I'm gonna literally go in depth. I mean, it just depends how much you want to.
I'm watching
dive.
Dalton Connect, and I think he looks great. I
Yeah.
told you that's one of my picks.
Yeah.
He's cooking St. Peter's.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with cooking St. Peter's?
Yeah, it's super tough. And, that's kind of what made that Giannis draft so tough was that people were like, Giannis is going against like YMCA guys over here.
Right.
How am I supposed to judge this? No, it becomes tough. And like you're saying, I mean, especially if you're going to just look at highlights, which is definitely what even your favorite draft analyst, I'm telling you, is only watching a majority, or I shouldn't say only watching a majority, but is watching a majority of the film via highlights.
Right.
It's not, maybe there's a couple games that they'll watch the full length of. Maybe there's some super cuts where it's every time they touch the ball, but everyone is watching some version of a condensed highlight film of all of these guys. And I would just say, I mean, the easiest thing, I mean, first off, nobody's going to get everything right. That's first and foremost. You can see the best, mixtape you've ever seen in your life, and they'll end up just being an okay player.
Right.
So that's one thing to remember. But honestly, it is just about figuring out, stacking up the things that you like the most. I mean, it's like Dalton Connect. Yeah, you'll watch this Dalton Connect, and then you turn on Robert Dillingham, and it's just, I don't know, something about the Robert Dillingham film jumped out more to you. I think it really is just a matter of I mean, everyone's got their own preference, and that's why I think everybody has such different draft boards. I don't think there's a perfect science to it. I would just say the thing that you should watch when you are watching highlights, don't just watch, oh, this is a make. Oh, this person continues to make it. Oh, watch where they're shooting from, how they shot. Did it look comfortable? Did it look like they just kind of threw that shot at the rim, or was there some fluidity to it? Was it a thought process? I think it's tools, it's traits. It's, he blows by defenders often. His length really seems to bother him. Every time he drives the lane, he just kind of throws it at the rim, doesn't really have a lot of different moves, never seeing a Euro step. I think it's just kind of stacking information, and it's not even really about figuring out, this guy's great, this guy sucks. It's more just finding the film and just piecing puzzles together. It's more just like you're trying to get a clearer image of all these guys and understanding the moves they go to, the things that they can do, the things that they don't like to do, and figuring out, okay, taking that information and adjusting it towards your team and the role specifically that they would want to play. Because there's going to be a lot of guys like Zach Edey, where it's like, okay, you have maybe Zach Edey's not the best example, but it's just the easiest. He's just getting fed the ball in the post time after time after time. That's not going to happen in the NBA. Right. So it's like, okay, if he's, instead of getting, we'll just make up a number here, 15 post touches or post ups a game, in the NBA, he's maybe going to get 5. So what is he doing on those post ups? How efficient? How quickly? Is he getting the ball and backing them down and then just using his brute strength? Or is there some skills? Is there some footwork there to work with? It's just about picking up on those things. And that's where it becomes everybody's a scout, everybody's a GM. You just have to put your own opinion on it. And that's the thing that's what makes the draft process so scary, is that it's a bunch of people who don't really know 100% what they're talking about, but you do have to, I shouldn't say what they're talking about, but they don't have you have to speak with more conviction than what I think you might actually feel, because nobody knows. It's just about betting on traits, betting on skill sets. And honestly, fit is a huge part of it. I mean, these guys, someone's going to go to Washington. I don't know if anybody is going to, you could argue, hey, thrive in that situation because it's just an empty canvas. You can do whatever you want. But some people might say, no, I kind of need some structure. I need to know my role, or else I'm just out there playing free and being dangerous. So it's really just about watching specific things and trying to highlight what that might look like on the pro stage. I don't know if that helps, but that's kind of my process.
No, that definitely helps. And, you just got to look at things a little bit deeper and it's a lot, right? And I would say,
and that's just eye test too. There's numbers that you can look into that'll form completely different opinions.
And the other thing I would say is, pick if somebody pops up that you didn't really get to watch, and I guess this is a tough year for that because nobody knows who's going where. But pick five. Don't try to look at everyone.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
no, definitely.
Pick five.
Don't watch Alex Sarr. You don't need to watch Alex Sarr.
No,
He's not going to be
think you
available
do.
at 13. There's no reason to. I mean, unless you're just a draft junkie, which there's definitely a lot of people out there. But there's no need to watch every single prospect. I would look at look at mock drafts. Look at the people that are going at the king spot. Willie called earlier, mentioned Jacoby Walter. He's a name that's in a lot of mock drafts. Cody Williams is a name that I personally am really excited about. The Dalton Connects of the world. Absolutely. Ron Holland, look into somebody like him. Look into Jared McCain, who's the Duke kid who's from Sacramento and is also in a lot of mock drafts. I would more so look at the guys in the range of the Kings and then deep dive on those.
I was watching, and I saw Reed Shepherd, same size as Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to go top 5, something like that. I got to say, Chris, with
He's got a short wingspan.
With my expert eyes, I don't get the Reed Shepherd thing personally.
He had a crazy vertical leap the other day. I'm looking at it here. They released the measurements of all the prospects. Rob Dillingham, number 3 in terms of shortest wingspans. Reed Shepherd, number 5. And those guys are both listed. Reed Shepherd, 6'1" and 3/4. Rob Dillingham, 6'1" flat. And they also had small wingspans. So, yeah, I could definitely see how that wouldn't be something exciting. Rob Dillingham, 164 pounds he weighed in at. Oh, my goodness.
I got a couple spots to take him out here. It'll be fine.
He's going to need them.
It'll be fine. All right.
God.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Also, looking at Jokic and who he's become. Where is he all time? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Letch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, Brian Kelly, Drew Baldridge, Brian Martin, Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthew.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPFest.com. That's CITPFest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Gurnick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new?
Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 916. If the Kings draft a playmaker guard, If the Kings draft a playmaker guard, do we look into that as Malik Monk is gone? Or is that extreme? Is it not that simple? 916, I think you're definitely on to something, right? I mean, why would you need, we had somebody joking on the Sack Chat yesterday saying, yeah, bring in another guard. And we were talking about Patrick Beverley because they already have so many guards. So it would be, yeah. I mean, if Rob Dillingham, if they go Rob Dillingham, or would you say Jared McCain as well, or Jared McCain?
Yeah.
Maybe not so much. Either one of those guys.
I don't think it's necessarily a sign. I mean, it might be, but I wouldn't take it as a definite. I would just think, if anything, maybe it's a sign Davion Mitchell's not in the Kings' future. He'll be entering the last year of his contract this season. If they do take a guy who seems to be a ball handler, I would just more read that as, they're looking to use that asset to bring in a future backup point guard. That's what I would think.
It's very similar to what just happened with the Niners, right? They took Ricky Pearsall. Everyone's like, Ayuk's gone or Debo's gone. But in the NBA, I think it's so much because everything's positionless basically. I don't think it applies to the same level as the NFL, right?
I'd be worried if they got Dillingham. If they got Dillingham, I'd be worried.
Really?
I wouldn't, especially if it's Dillingham, because then it's like he fell to that spot, and you could definitely argue it's just like a best player available thing, not necessarily having anything to do with positional or anything like that. It's more just that could be a best player available.
And to be fair, and again, maybe Frankie and Brendan can help us out. We're still trying to figure out if they can trade the 13 pick on draft night, or if they have to make the pick of a player and then you can trade it.
Yeah, but even then, I think you could have an agreement of who you're taking. Like, it's literally the immediate second after the pick is made, you can trade it. So
right. So there's no rules on I can't talk to the Hornets or whoever until the pick is made. You can talk to whoever you want and say, hey, this deal, if you can get Dillingham, we got a deal.
Yes, I believe there is some sort of NBA open trade talks during the draft. Like, I don't know when the window opens, but you are able to talk about exchanging because obviously you can exchange picks as well. There's some open period because I know the new league year starts July 1st. So I'm just a little bit confused on how everything happens, but I do know the Kings can make the pick knowing it's already going somewhere else. Yeah.
So then it's going to be the whole, and you said you didn't like this about the NBA because it does get made, and then as everything is going on, or this is why you said you like the leaks, because then you're not excited about somebody. Let's say they get my guy Dalton,
right?
And they got Dalton, and then as I'm getting ready to text you, you're getting a leak saying, hey, that's not, they're not keeping Dalton.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to follow it via Twitter for the NBA draft for that reason. But we'll see. I mean, I think that there's some guys there that if they're going to be available at 13, there's definitely some prospects out there that I think the Kings should be excited about. It's just a matter of, how people are talking also leading into it. How many players seem to be available? More so role players are available around that time. I think the Kings will probably make that pick. I don't think it'll be traded until significantly after, or a couple weeks after, if it's going to happen. I think that
you don't see that a lot.
No, not often, but I think with how you often don't see this many names available either.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just going to be a matter of it's an asset that they're going to try and move on from. And when no one's excited about this year's draft, I think nobody's going to be in a rush to get picks for this draft.
Right.
And so it'll just be, it'll just be viewed as, oh yeah, that is a young player or a rookie that you're getting in the deal. It's not necessarily going to hold the weight of a first round pick, but it's still going to be a young asset that hopefully the team getting them can get excited about.
This whole thing is always so fascinating because you have the Thompson twins from yesterday and what felt like a pretty decent draft, right? Because you had Wembanyama, you had some different guys in there, and sure, Wembanyama is Wembanyama, but besides that, there were some names that came up early. But the Thompson twins, you had people saying, "Oh, they're not that good. They're too defensive minded, and they can't do enough offensively." And I just wonder what is the GM's average timeline on the dudes that they draft and how long they think it should take for them to acclimate to the NBA and be what they want them to be, right? You're not drafting these guys for 5-year projects.
Depends. I mean, it depends on your situation.
It depends
and
if you
the guy
stink
you're
or
taking.
not. It depends if you stink or
Yeah,
not.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you're afforded the Pistons can take a 5-year project because in 5 years, if it works out, that's probably right when they'll be getting good. But obviously, the Kings aren't in a position to take any sort of person who's more than a 1-year project, if that. So it just depends on the player specifically. But I mean, if you're a bad enough team, why not? I mean, that's the thought of OKC taking a guy like Pokusevski, where it's like, hey, even if it takes 5 years for this guy to pan out, at least he's good. At least he'll be good at the end of it, and that's when we're planning to be good. So it just kind of depends on the situation. But the Kings definitely are not in that kind of situation.
Right, which makes this draft pretty dangerous because you don't know who's actually going to be ready. I mean, if you go with somebody who's just been in college a bit longer and is just an older player, that's one way to do it. Then you have the ceiling conversation. So this is just what it is, and it's definitely something that it's exciting, but you would hope that you'd be excited in a different way. Before we get to it, Chris, Jokic and what he did last night and kind of the statement that he made, second player with 40 points, 10 assists, and 0 turnovers in a playoff game.
Crazy.
Since 1978.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredible last night. I mean, like I said earlier, it's the optionality of, oh, okay, like you think I can't give you 40. I will give you 40 if you're going to allow me, and you're going to try and take away Aaron Gordon from me. You're going to try and take away Jamal Murray a bit in the pick and roll. Jokic, that's what makes him different, is he is capable of scoring 40 any night, but he chooses not to. He understands basketball is a game of connectivity, and having Jamal Murray and having Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. do what they do on top of what Jokic gives you is a lot more deadly than just Jokic trying to be Jalen Brunson every night. You can figure out how to quadruple team Jalen Brunson and just make sure, hey, we will literally make sure anybody else besides this one guy kills us. With Jokic, you cannot do that. And he's going to let you decide how you want to die that night.
Right.
And that's the thing that makes him so lethal. And I know OKC's down right now, but if I was thinking yesterday, if OKC has to go against Denver, that's a sweep. There's no way OKC can even remotely stop Jokic if he's going to be in that kind of mode. Chet Holmgren, he's not his fault. I mean, we're seeing
he can't even
actual
stop Daniel
defensive player of
Gafford.
the year. There's no way he's going to be able to stop Jokic. And, it's the more I see and the closer that the Denver gets to closing the series out, it's looking like another title. It's crazy, but
what about the Celtics?
What about them? I mean, Porzingis is going to be out until the conference finals. They look good. They don't look like world beaters without Porzingis. And if Porzingis is going to be on a messed up calf, and we know how they've just been in general with injuries and the fact that they haven't gotten it done yet, Denver's not going to make that series easy. And Celtics haven't been in that situation. Like nothing. The Celtics are the ones who have to prove themselves in this. Denver's been there, done that, and is arguably playing their best basketball. Like you could argue being down 2-0 was the best thing to happen to Denver. They haven't looked bad since. I just think it's different level. And plus, I mean, the Celtics are playing a carnival cruise over here.
Yeah.
They're playing the Cavs who don't have Donovan Mitchell's out tonight. He missed game 4, in round 1. Played Miami. Miami's a tough test, but Miami's not the Miami they were last year. Then in the conference finals, they're either going to play the Knicks, who have 4 guys out, or they're playing the Pacers, who can't defend anybody. So, I just feel like the Celtics are the ones who are going to have to get to the level of, oh my God, yeah, this is playoff basketball. I forgot that we have to go up to another level where Denver they're snapped into it. They are locked in right now. And I mean, maybe Minnesota can turn it into a 7-game series, but the way Denver's played last night, that was at home, but I just don't see it. I think they got to make big adjustments, and Anthony Edwards going to have to go crazy in game 6.
Right. Michael Malone definitely with some good adjustments there for the Nuggets when it looked like, wow, they're too long, they're too fast, they're too athletic, and it hasn't been a problem anymore. Well, it is a problem out there in San Francisco at Oracle Park, as they are down players and they're getting asked questions that Chris wants to ask a question, whether it's fair or foul, because they were just outclassed by a Dodger organization that made the Giants look like a JV team. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
This time of year can mean only one thing: Jeeps, Jeeps, and more Jeeps. It's Jeep season at Lodi Jeep Superstore. Leonard Harrington here, and I can't wait to tell you about what we've got going on, because we're talking Jeeps and big savings too. Now you can get the 2024 Jeep Compass Sport 4x4 for only $26,999. That's right, just $26,999. And of course, it comes loaded with features like rear view camera, power tailgate, blind spot monitor, Bluetooth, 4-wheel drive, and much, much more for only $26,999.
More than 5 available with this offer. MSRP $27,495. Lodi CDJR discount $496 equals a sales price of $26,999. See dealer for details. Offer ends 5/31/24.
We're talking Jeeps. We're talking big savings too during the Jeep season, going on now at the Lodi Jeep Superstore, right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumberyard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass, Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive, all in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details and 6324.
This is Sacktown Sports.
The Celtics look bored. That's what the 916 is saying. Well, you might not be wrong. And I do think, Chris, as much as the Knicks get on my nerves, I do think that the Knicks will at least make the Celtics perk up a bit and pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. They're not going to be able to just steamroll the Knicks. The Knicks aren't going to. Are we
sure?
Okay, I'll put it to you like this. Could it be can you give me this? Could it be a Nuggets Lakers situation from last season?
Competitive sweep?
Yes.
Maybe. I just don't see I think they're going to need more than Jalen Brunson. I just think the Celtics' only objective is going to be make sure Jalen Brunson doesn't get 35 plus points. And I just think they absolutely have never been more prepared to have a rotation of people that can do that. And if you're going to rely on Dante DiVincenzo to hit a ton of shots, if they're going to need Josh Hart to be an offensive weapon, you're going to need Alec Burks to give you 15 a night. I just don't think that's how the Knicks are going to be able to win.
I mean, Alec Burks, and it's funny because he doesn't play the same position as OG, but really, and Bogdanović had been out, but Alec Burks was out of the rotation
completely.
And now he just is back in the rotation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you only play 7 people and then one of your 7 people go down is that you're like, well, we can either just play 6.
Right. Well, positions.
We can just throw the guy out there who's pass. I mean, Alec Burks has been good on every other team he's been on except for the Kings. So, it doesn't not make sense. He's good on the Pistons. He's a good scorer. It's just his defense is the issue where Tom Thibodeau is not going to play those games. He doesn't, defense is his calling card. And if you're not going to defend, he's not going to put you out there. I just can't see it with the Knicks. I think it's been a really fun story, but at some point talent will trump it all. And I just really think that this Celtics team is way too loaded. I don't think it's going to get competitive. I just don't. I think the Celtics are going to steamroll through the Knicks. I can't. I can maybe see the Knicks getting a game at the Garden, but honestly,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking one at the Garden just because, and then that second game at the Garden is going to be close, right? And maybe a questionable call. We get a last 2-minute report pop up, and it's weirdly 2-2.
Maybe. I mean, if Adam Silver's in his bag, for sure, it could definitely happen. But I think the Celtics have been the best team in the NBA all year long. I think at some point, like the Knicks being injured and playing all of these guys 40 minutes a game, it's got to catch up. And it would make sense to me that they can't. I mean, they also have, if OG comes back, maybe they have somebody to throw on Jaylen Brown. But Jason Tatum's like 6'10", 6'11", and can rise up above anybody. I don't know who they're going to put on. I mean, it's going to be OG, but I just don't see them having any answer to all of the problems that Boston solves, including depth, including the fact that Boston will go 9 deep and not have a problem with it. So they're going to be the fresher team. They're going to be the better team. I just don't see it. I think it's been a really fun ride, but I think the Knicks have also gotten the benefit of playing the Sixers when Joel Embiid has half of his face not working. And, the Pacers are the Pacers just are already, I think, further than what they should be.
The Knicks are going to be in a weird position when this is all said and done, because I think there are a lot of Knicks fans, including Stephen A., who, if you ask Knicks fans whether he's a Knicks fan or not, you might get a couple different answers. But Julius Randle injured, Bogdanović injured. So they've been injured for a good bit of this stretch. But I don't know if the Knicks fans would feel, hey, we just get Julius Randle back and our guys, get our team whole, and let's rock and roll. The idea that you're missing, it's just a weird idea that you're missing one of your best players, but you probably don't think that just getting your best player back next season, not that they think that their run was fraudulent, I just don't know what Knicks fans think that they actually have.
No.
They probably still they're probably mad that Julius Randle is injured, because now it's possible you could hide behind, well, we didn't have Julius Randle, when I think a lot of Knicks fans wanted to move on from Julius Randle and upgrade that position.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough because you've got to figure it out. I mean, I agree in the sense of you can't just plug and play Randle and say they would be better if they would be better if Randle were out there. They would have more optionality, but they would be a different team. Like right now it's everybody has very defined and clear roles. If Julius Randle's out there, it just kind of mucks things up a bit. Jalen Brunson can't have the ball in his hand and do the Jalen Brunson thing that we're seeing now, because frankly, I mean, Julius Randle is kind of like a forward version of Donovan Mitchell in a way, where he'll put them up. He'll put up 20 plus shots a game, and that just throws off the rhythm. That makes them a completely different team. And it makes Isaiah Hartenstein get less minutes and give less of the things that have been really crucial for what he establishes more as like a physical tone that they bring. I just think it's a completely different team. And if I were the Knicks, I would definitely use this entire offseason and say, can we just get as many pieces as possible for Julius. I don't even think they necessarily need the same way we talk about the Kings needing like that other star. It almost feels like the Knicks and the way they're constructed, they would just be better having more people to do what they want to do. So if they can trade Julius Randle for, let's just do like a perfect New Orleans and get Herb Jones and whatever, some of their fun pieces, I think that's better for the Knicks than bringing in a guy like Julius Randle for next season or a better version or a different version.
And I haven't called it this the same way we call it Luka Ball, but there is some version of this with Brunson Ball.
Oh yeah,
where now with these guys, there either is not enough help or there's help that doesn't make sense, because you're going to lose somebody that can score basically as much as Brunson, but maybe not the way they're now seeing. Wait, this is probably a better way for us to move forward than what we were doing with Julius Randle, to let Brunson cook. But how much do you want him to cook? Because you bring in a Herb Jones and other guys that all they can do is hit threes, and if they're not hitting threes, now we're having a conversation next year. And if Josh Hart comes back to reality and Dante DiVincenzo comes back to reality, now we're having a conversation after next season saying, well, he needs more help. Right? That is what happens with these high usage players, which honestly, to bring it all back to the Kings and De'Aaron Fox, that's one thing that you don't have to worry about with De'Aaron Fox. You have high usage with Sabonis, but if they can figure out some of these other pieces, their balance is something that I think is almost second to none in the NBA, where a lot of these other stars, they either need the ball too much or they don't have the ball, and then they say, well, I need the ball more. And then you bring in pieces and you say, well, it's too much help now. I can't cook as much. And then you can't cook enough. So I think that the Kings do have some of the best bones in terms of figuring out not to use the Nuggets conversation again, but that balance is more even than some of these other teams. It's closer to the Celtics in a way. I know that sounds ridiculous.
No, I know what you're saying, though.
But it's not just
evenly
this guy.
Distributed.
You know what I mean? But you just need, and that's why last season was so good when you had Keegan hot and you had Kevin Huerter hot. They went cold. So you need somebody more than that, but you still can't have too many cooks in the kitchen. Well, there are not enough cooks in the kitchen in Oracle Park because nobody can get a hit and they can't beat the Dodgers. And Bob Melvin was asked about it. And the way he was asked about it, we'll let you decide whether the question was fair or foul. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, a first Major League win is always special, especially for someone who's paid his dues. Joey Estes, acquired by the A's in the Matt Olson trade, handful of innings in the big leagues for the Athletics a year ago, made his first start this year in Seattle. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 5 years after he was drafted by Atlanta.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants. Did you know we love country music? Our Bennett's team will be setting up our Country in the Park kitchen to serve all country music fans. We will be grilling and preparing your favorite foods from Bennett's: giant cheeseburgers, chicken or mushroom Caesar salads, and of course, our legendary barbecued ribs and fried chicken. Did I mention crispy hot French fries? And most of our meals are gluten-free friendly. We will have a covered eating pavilion, so catch a bite, enjoy a bit of shade, and of course, all the great country music with Bennett's. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Since you probably can't afford your own sports psychologist, Golf Monthly's Fergus Bissett offers 5 golf psychology tips to help you play better. First, stay in the present. If your mind is ahead of you, how can you focus on the shot at hand? Second, every shot is a new challenge. The objective of every shot is to get the ball in the hole in the least amount of strokes. Go do it. 3, the past is the past. Many of us dwell on the past. Not good. Clear your mind and move on to the next shot. 4, never surrender. Some give up on their rounds too quickly. Your fortunes on the course can change with one swing or one decent break. Lastly, stay positive on the greens. If you're having one of those days where the putts don't drop, focus on the positives. If you're putting on your intended line, that's a good thing. Keep it up and they'll begin to fall. And remember, it's a game. So go out there and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. And right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection. See our exceptional selection of Elk Grove Honda certified pre-owned Hondas with interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Giants are in trouble. And we'll be honest here. It's interesting, right? As we were talking about fandom out here yesterday, and with the Golden State Valkyrie coming out saying who they are and being pretty in purple, thought it was interesting. Lavender, as you'll call it. Now you have a very unique situation where the River Cats, who used to be the minor league team for the A's, now the minor league team for the Giants, are also now going to be the home of the Oakland A's. And the appetite, I don't know how much the appetites have changed, if at all, out here in Sacramento. If it's more about the A's now versus the Giants. If you were a Giants fan, and unless you were a hardcore Giants fan, are you willing to switch on over to the A's, whatever that case is? But Chris and I on this show, we will probably get closer to talking more A's eventually, but the Giants are the Giants, and we know there are plenty of Giants fans out here. So it's just a very one-of-one situation that only Sacramento and the Bay Area could draw up. But with that being said, it's not hard to not watch the Giants right now. And even though they did beat the Reds in a series recently, we know that the litmus test is always against the dudes from SoCal, the Dodgers. They beat the Reds 2 out of 3, and they invited the Dodgers on. And as the kids from Sacramento have finally made it out of daycare and headed over to San Francisco, it has not been great so far. They lost 6-4 on Monday in a game where, the Giants, they had a chance, right? I mean, they had a chance. You had the guys come out and make an immediate impact. You had Luis Matos hit a home run. A couple other guys did some things. Elliot Ramos had an RBI and 2 hits. These guys straight from Sacramento, really trying to show who they are. And then last night, it wasn't as close. So they lost 6-4 on Monday, and then last night they lose the game 10-2. And it's literally how you would draw it up. You have Mookie Betts, who was 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, including a triple. You had Shohei Ohtani, who hit a home run. He had 2 RBIs. He had 3 hits. You had Freddie Freeman, who was 1 for 4, but he scored 2 runs. He had a walk, and he had an RBI. You had Teoscar Hernandez, who had 3 RBIs and 2 hits. You had just a ridiculous amount of guys doing things in Oracle Park, and the Giants literally just couldn't keep up. Lamont Wade, 2 walks. He loves to walk. He got on base a couple times. Mike Yastrzemski, who's turned things around, he had 2 hits. He went 2 for 4. Luis Matos has stayed hot. He was 2 for 4 with an RBI. And Casey Schmidt, another guy who came up from Sacramento with all these injuries, he was 2 for 4, but it just wasn't enough. Matt Chapman has been brutal. Okay, we were hoping matching back up with Bob Melvin would help. It hasn't. Okay, he's been abysmal at the plate. You've lost guys. Marco Luciano even got a pinch hit yesterday, but Matt Chapman hasn't done anything. Jorge Soler, okay, I know it's really cool to say Solar Power, but he's injured, right? And he really wasn't playing that well prior to injury. And now, worst of all, you have more injuries coming down the pipe. And we went over this a couple days ago with Jung-Hoo Lee, and he's possibly done for the season as he crashed into the fence. And that is part of the reason some of these guys have come up. And now there have been complaints about Luis Matos in center field. Is he actually a center fielder? People think he coasts the balls. People think that he doesn't have the best routes. So it's a mess. And Alex Pavlovich was on the Giants flagship, and he says Giants are hopeful they get good news, but there's a decent chance he might be out for the season. That is Alex Pavlovich of NBC Sports Bay Area on Jung-Hoo Lee, one of their acquisitions. Blake Snell, he was late, okay? He was late to getting ready for the season because he hadn't gotten signed. Then he gets signed. He gets tatted up all over the place. Then he injures himself. So Blake Snell, you will get to see him in Friday. The reports are he will be at Sutter Health on Friday getting ready. I think that would be his last rehab start, and then he would go back to Oracle and hopefully turn things around. You have some other pitchers that are going to be coming back that they signed later in the season, but this is a complete mess for the Giants, and at least the A's, they weren't supposed to be good, and the A's have some exciting pieces, and at least we know, they're going to be coming to Sacramento. The Giants, on the other hand, they don't know who they want to be, who they're trying to be. They're supposed to be a couple years away. They're not a couple years away.
Right.
This thing is a nightmare, and I thought it would be much better than this. So Bob Melvin gets asked this after the game, during the post-game presser, and I played it for Chris, and Chris thought it was pretty wild of a question, and we're going to play it for you here. This is what Bob Melvin was asked after the game.
Look, we've concentrated on ourselves, And, last night it was basically the same roster. So, and we were ahead a couple times in that game and couldn't finish it out. So I don't think we look at it that way. Obviously there's a lot of turnover at this point in time, and we don't have our main guys out there, but we just got to keep fighting and not let it crater a little bit. We got to hang in there and win some games and start getting some guys back.
So the question was, does it feel like a fair fight? That's what he was asked. Does it feel like a fair fight? And that's kind of crazy of a question.
Yeah,
because basically saying, is this JV or varsity?
Yeah, I mean, they're all still exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's like you're essentially asking, hey, do you think that you guys should literally be in the same league as these guys? Like, is that a bit unfair? And it's just a bad question to ask a coach, a manager, whatever. Like any professional. It's just, I don't know what kind of answer you're expecting to get. I mean, Bob Melvin's definitely not going to say no and make some big grand point about the Dodgers spending or anything like that. I just don't know sometimes you have to ask a question and have a basic idea of what the answer is going to be. I don't know what that reporter thought the answer was going to be. I just don't think it's a good question at all. Do you think that your team is in the same league, stands a chance against this team? It's like, and I think Bob Melvin's answer was, I mean, it was like 3-1 at one. Like, we had chances to win. Mm-hmm. It's just, sometimes that's how baseball goes. I just think it's a ridiculous question.
Yeah, and you have obviously the bullpen who's had question marks, and again, like we said, the starting pitching, they're missing some pieces in the starting pitching. So yeah, you go up against a team like the Dodgers, but that's the thing. I guess what the reporter meant was less about the Dodgers versus the Giants and more about the Dodgers versus everyone else.
Sure.
Right. I mean, you're all just competing for second place, but as a competitive
feels
person,
like a question not to ask when the team gets beat 10-2.
No.
And I understand he would maybe say it's the perfect time to ask that question because it's when it's on full display. But again, you have to think about the mindset of Bob Melvin right there. And I just don't think he's going to, you know what? Like, I don't even know why we go out there. They're at a different level than us, and we have to play our best game to even stand a chance. So, it's not fair, but this is the cards we've been dealt, and we're going to, I just don't know.
Can you imagine if Mike Brown was asked that about a super team?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, like, what if people were asked that when the Warriors were playing? And I think fans might have asked it, but then to actually bring it to a coach, I just don't know what answer you're expecting to get there. Of course, they're going to say, yeah, we have a chance. These guys put on their shorts one leg at a time, just like we do.
Right.
And we got to go out there and believe we're going to win every game. I don't know. I feel like that's a really wild question to ask. Or at the very least, maybe to your point, there's just a much better way of asking the question that you're really trying to get there. And maybe, I don't even know if Bob Melvin's the right person to ask. That's almost maybe a Farhan question if you're really trying to get an answer.
And people want, I hear it in the Bay, they want him out of there. Dodgers on April 1st, this was not a joke on April Fool's Day. They beat the Giants 8-3. The next two games, it was the same exact score. They beat the Giants 4-5. They beat the Giants again 4-5. That was, I believe, the last time they had played them. So, yeah, they swept the Giants the first time, and now they could sweep them again. So they are currently 5-0 against the Giants. The Giants have not beat them once. They got them close.
Yeah.
But this ain't horseshoes.
Have you kind of slightly related, you were talking about Lamont Wade earlier. Are you first off, have you heard of this Baseball Savant numbers that had just came out? So Baseball Savant is essentially this website where it's like the ultimate tracking data for all baseball players. You can find, exit velos and every single numbered thing that you would want to look into for baseball. Essentially, they just revealed and made a huge deal of it. Jeff Passan was out talking about it. They had some baseball YouTubers talking about it as well, where essentially they now have bat speed available as an option. You can also see time, like swing length, essentially like time in the zone.
Yeah, the Braves had the shortest shortest length and quickest swings in the league.
Exactly. And they do it for player specific too, just for like Luis Arias has the slowest bat speed and the shortest swing length as well. And guys like Giancarlo Stanton had the longest swing length. Guys who really load up and let that thing go have the highest speed and the highest swing length. So usually there's a correlation of short swing with a slow swing. So the thing is to try and find the perfect balance of who has the shortest timed swing but can manufacture the most speed. Lamont Wade, number 1 in that balance scale, where his swing length is 6.6, I'd assume, feet, and then a bat swing speed of 71 miles per hour, which the guys that are in that same swing length are Steven Kwan, Justin Turner, Verdugo, Arias, Benintendi, more contact hitters. And the only other person who meets that level of balance for Lamont Wade is one Corey Seager. So it feels like one of these things where it's just going to be like scouts or people who, if you're looking for who's the free agent that we can pick up and you get more for your more bang for your buck. This is like the ultimate baseball tool of, it's just Lamont Wade. If you give him the at-bats, he'll have the production that's there because all of these numbers link up and at some point law of averages is going to play out.
It's just, to me, it's just at the end of the day, it still has to be an eye test, right? Because now you're just convincing yourself if fine. That could all be true. And I'm not talking about Lamont Wade. I'm saying anybody. If this person is hitting 100, right, and it's not producing, are you just going to say are you saying based on these metrics, he should produce at some point? Are you going to pay him for what he should do?
No.
Or pay him for what he does? I wish this stuff was
That's
around
a baseball question, man. Because I know, like, I've seen Jung-Hoo Lee. They say he's the unluckiest batter in baseball. His expected batting average.
But I like that because that's just based on.
But it just feels like a slippery slope of like, how do you?
But that's hard hit balls, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's good contact at least. That is solid. Yeah.
But people will tell you, in order to hit the ball out the park, the swing has to be 75 miles an hour. I think that's what they found is that the average swing speed for a home run is 75 miles an hour.
Interesting. Coming up next, Netflix and the NFL trying to ruin Christmas for the NBA, and some text messages on the text line about some proposed trades. We'll get into it. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sacktown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Brawny Watch.
And we have Braun watching Brawny Watch.
And he just got cooked.
Is this like ESPN's dream right now? They have Brawny playing as LeBron watches, but they have a split screen of I thought he twisted his ankle.
They just need Brian Windhorst commentating this.
Now, as you can see, LeBron liked that play.
Okay. His foot's resting.
Sources are telling me he is now more likely to stay in LA after that play.
What they're measuring LeBron's eyebrow width,
Yes.
how far it goes up.
All we need is a third screen showing Bryce James just working out, preparing.
I think Bryce is going to be nice.
Well,
Bryce has got the
Stephen A is reporting now that, and this is nothing that we haven't already heard, that Bryce is the one with more potential, and some scouts are saying that Bronny needs to go back to school. So what's the rule here? Isn't that too late?
No.
Once you go to I thought, didn't back in the day you had to declare and then you had to pull out pretty early? I didn't know you could do
Nothing
combine
matters
stuff.
anymore.
No, yeah. Now they let you get a good gauge of where they think you're going to go, and then you can make your decision.
So what you're telling me is that after all that, after all this, Bronny could go back to school.
He could. I'm trying to find the date right now, but yes, he could. Let me see.
We will never get these hours back.
Does anybody work anymore?
Apparently,
Seriously.
Apparently not. And you know who is working overtime to ruin Christmas for the NBA? Netflix has officially acquired rights to the NFL's Christmas Day games in a 3-year deal.
NFL?
Yes. It will mark Netflix's first live event with a major U.S. sports league. And it will be C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes.
Man, okay.
That's crazy.
That Texans game is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that Texans game.
That's going to be so
nuts.
cool.
I mean, that's.
You feel bad for the NBA?
Yeah, a little bit. Where it's just kind of like, really, like y'all can let us just have one day,
right?
Like one day, like NBA and Christmas, like goes hand in hand. You can just let us eat for one day. NFL, you literally can get a random Wednesday popping if you wanted to.
Right.
You got to pick Christmas.
How does this work with, I guess, the commissioners, the NBA commissioner, the NFL commissioner? Is there no type of respect there, or is it just? I thought there had been, because why didn't this happen sooner?
Right.
Right.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think there has been just like an unspoken understanding, but the NFL, they're Napoleon, like they're trying to take over the world. Like it's what their goal is. And if your goal is to try and be the biggest thing possible, you're going to step on some people along the way. And I think that's just what it is the NFL and NBA played nice for about as long as they could. And now it's getting to the point where, they're fighting for the same territory. And so it's not fair. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not fair. It's not good for the NBA, but it's kind of the reality of the situation. It's just like, if you want to play, we're all competing for eyeballs and attention. And the NFL isn't going to concede anything nowadays when there's just so much other stuff that people can be watching. The NFL is going to try and take it all every single day of the week. Can't wait.
I can't believe that. I guess it's all fair in love and war.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
It just felt like I enjoyed believing that there was a handshake between the two. Yeah. I enjoyed that. And
it is nice.
Either there was one
it sucks
and it's now
pick,
gone.
Doesn't it? It really does.
Most people are not going to pick.
No, I don't think it's. Yeah, some people, it's just like, I'm just putting football on. It just is.
Honestly, I think one of the only cities. Well, and the other thing is, I was going to say one of the only cities. Here's a question. And this
what day is Christmas this year too? Is this on a random Wednesday?
Probably.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Could you see the NBA pivot from what they normally?
Christmas is on a Wednesday.
Could you see the NBA pivot from what they've normally done and try to include? I know this probably sounds crazy. Just include some teams that they don't normally include. Do you make a bigger slate on Christmas? What's your next move? Because you can't stick with what you've been doing.
No.
The reason I ask is because I believe that one of the cities, and I might be tripping, but I believe that one of the cities you could at least hang around the NFL in, right, in terms of the NBA and your viewership on Christmas would be Sacramento, right? If the Kings were playing, you think it's just not close?
Yeah, you're not getting national draw there.
No. I know I get that, But I guess all I'm saying is you can't, maybe I'm just saying add more games, because you can't fight fire with fire, because your brands are not messing with even the NFL secondary brands.
I would do less games. I would do less games and make them more important. How do you
make them more important?
You only pick good teams. You don't do the Knicks Bucks just for the sake of having East Coast games.
It's not doing that.
So how is having more games better?
Just quantity, just the quantity.
But wouldn't that then say, oh, there's so many NBA games on, instead of watching any of the NBA games, I'll just watch the football?
No.
I think
either way they're watching
forcing
football.
them. Well, then the decision is to have no games, not to double down and have more.
209 NBA got to start on Thanksgiving. No, that's cooked.
No, I mean
they don't have a.
Again,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Well, they went into your turf,
exactly.
Go onto their turf, but
that's a losing battle.
How crazy of a crossover do you actually think there is, though? Because I feel like there are way more hardcore NFL fans. Is the issue with the NBA that casual NFL fans will still pick NFL over NBA?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because there are hardcore NBA fans that would pick to watch the NBA.
Absolutely.
There are hardcore NFL fans that will pick to watch the NFL. The issue is a casual NFL fan is always going to watch the NFL.
Yeah.
And probably to another degree, the casual NBA fan is probably going to pick the NFL too, because everybody else watching NFL.
Well, and it still becomes the conversation of what makes the NFL work is just a sense of urgency, where it's, well, you can't miss
right. There's 82 more
versus
and
the one of
you beat me to it, Chris. The way this is going, you got to cut those games in half, Adam.
Oh,
no, not in half. No, but Chris, 60 games, 60.
I think 72 is realistic, just because, especially with them about to enter into this new TV deal, you can't enter a new TV deal and then say, hey, you know how you just paid us billions of dollars for 82 games? Yeah, we're taking 22 of them joints out. Like they're getting billions of dollars. They're going to have to supply at least, you can still sell them on the immediacy pitch that it helps the individual games out more, because now those individual games are more valued, but 62 is just not enough to make. I think if you're losing a quarter of your season, then if I'm NBC or Amazon, I'm saying I'm gonna take a quarter of this Billy then. And
so
you're not getting that.
do ratings not matter?
No, they absolutely matter.
Well, the ratings are going to keep plummeting.
In terms of
NBA has had a problem for a while. I mean, their NBA is starting to get beat out, right? It was never going to beat out NFL.
Yeah.
But now you have one of your largest viewing days of the year, Christmas, that just got cut out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What do you do? I'm just trying to figure out what the NBA does. I just wear it?
I think you just wear it.
You can't wear it.
I mean, you can't beat them. How are you going to beat the NFL? There's no way of beating the NFL. It's just the reality of this. It's why it was nice when they were playing nice, but if the NFL decided to turn on everybody, there's global domination. Maybe not global, but I just mean like they can, if they want to take over the map, they can take over the map if they so choose to. The thing was, they've been playing nice.
Maybe that's the point, though. And I don't know about internationally TV and viewership,
exactly.
But I guess the bottom line is, well, the NBA can still hang their hat on saying, well, globally,
number two.
Somebody's
got to be number two. You might as well be you.
And internationally,
you're not going to be number one.
Yeah, and internationally, I would say they're still, besides the US, they are bigger than the NFL, I would say. NBA.
I don't know. I really don't know. That's how big the NFL is. I really don't know.
When we return, what is more fair or foul? A coach who's also a podcaster, or a coach who's also a player? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going on for Chrysler's It's the Season sales event?
Right now, you can save up to $8,000 off MSRP on those hard-to-find new 2024 Ram heavy-duty trucks, starting as low as $49,495. Plus, we have over 500 new Ram trucks available, which means the Ram truck you want is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
Yeah, but why drive all the way to Hoblet?
We do things different here at Hoblet. You're not just a number. When you buy from Hoblet, you become family. There's a reason we are California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation. We have the big city selection and savings, but the small town feel you can't find at an auto mall.
Now's the time to get the new Ram truck of your dreams. Stop by for a test drive or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
8,000 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 2500 Laramie's after 7,500 dealer discount and 500 factor rebates. 5 of this net savings, 49,495 net price after 2,500 factor rebates. Rebates include 1,500 Ram commercial bonus cash. Not everyone will qualify. 5 of this net savings, sample VIN 197372.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Seth Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Seth Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Chris, Caitlin Clark had her debut. What did you think? Did you watch? 20 points, 3 assists, 10 turnovers. She set a record with those turnovers. 5 for 15 field goals, 4 for 11 from three-point range. You had some kind of spicy takes. I don't know that you want to get into all that, but what were your initial thoughts on Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, no, she was good. She was fine. Definitely the turnovers was a really big issue. She also did set a WNBA. People have only mentioned the turnovers, but she also tied a WNBA record for threes in a debut as well, hitting 4 of them. But it's I don't mind talking about what we were talking about. I definitely think it's maybe I wouldn't say the term unfair. I don't think unfair is the right word at all. But the way that these teams, even in the preseason, have guarded Caitlin Clark, just to me, it's just unfortunate, I think is the better word, because they aren't really giving her a chance to be great, which I understand from a competitor standpoint, absolutely. But I would have thought they're guarding her in the WNBA the same way they guarded her in college, which I understood it in college because it's a lot more of a you are the universe, and if we can slow you down, Iowa doesn't stand a chance. It's just been interesting to watch it at the WNBA level where they're just saying, we are going to face guard her. If she's standing at the logo, we're going to keep somebody over there. We're willing to play 4-on-4 essentially. And it's just the fact that, you would think with a rookie, it's almost like we see how great Caitlin is. We hear how great Caitlin is, but let me see it first. Let me see it on this level, and then we'll react to it. It's the fact that they're almost not even giving her the chance to be great, which again, I understand from the competitor aspect, but I just would have thought teams in general would have said, look, Caitlin's great in college, but everybody has to make that jump. Let's see how it looks first. And then if she's cooking us, then we'll make that adjustment. It's just been interesting to see teams guarding her in the first game of her career, face guarding her, throwing their best athletes at her, throwing grown women, like 30-year-old grown women at her, saying, go ahead and try and deal with this game one. I just think she's of course going to fail. And I don't have an issue with it at all.
Still put up 20.
And she still did put up 20, which I think is a sign of how good she is. She had this one. She did have a great game. She did have a stretch where I think she scored 8 in a row for them. And that kind of got her up to 20. But, ultimately it's just going to be harder for her than any other player really in WNBA history. Nobody has walked in, like, just imagine it in the NBA. That's what I was thinking. It's just like, imagine somebody walking in and immediately having that level of respect. Jimmer Fredette didn't get that. Steph Curry didn't get that. It's just the fact that it's not an adjustment. It's just she's walking into the league and she's being guarded like she's the best player in the league already.
Yeah. It's a really,
it's just weird. It's just interesting.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about it because obviously every game is important and you want to take your W's how you take your W's, but there's something to be said about, you're drafted to a team who they weren't the worst team in the league, but they weren't very good. They're trying to build with Aaliyah Boston. But at the same time, if you neutralize Caitlin Clark, this isn't college v. college. This is the WNBA. I don't know if they're maybe trying to make a point. That
could definitely be a part of it.
With what's going on here, and you get it. Nobody is going to complain. But yeah, you get drafted number 1 overall because your team stinks. Yeah. So then you're going to neutralize not the only, but one of the only good players on your team. Yeah, you're not going to win very many games. And if you're the other team, I don't know that I want to go down the route of, hey, you should not just guard her, maybe just normally, just because you do want some eyes. I think the WNBA has a very delicate situation on their hands.
Exactly.
Because you want to make a point, but how long do you want to make a point? Because I think people will still support Caitlin, and she did get to 20, but you do have to get there in a certain way. And if Caitlin, if Steph Curry was, those nights where Steph Curry is off at the 3 and he's shooting, let's say 4 of 11, but he's doing it at the free throw line and he's putting up 20 points at the free throw line and from drives and things like that, he's not the greatest show in the NBA.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's a good player.
100%.
So WNBA, and I don't know, that's not a conversation for the team. I don't know who it's a conversation with.
I don't know. Yeah,
but if you want to make a point, you can make a point,
Yeah.
but you could also be hustling backwards.
Yeah.
So
that's the best way of putting it. Yep.
where is that line? All right, let's get to 10, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, 10? What you got for us?
Hey, fellas, I got something. So I think that it's great that Netflix is doing that with partnering with the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You know, NBA get their turn too. You know, they've had some legendary Christmas games with LeBron, Kobe, and Wade, and you know, they're all national. They're all connected. National Football League, National Basketball Association, National Hockey League. So it's great to see that.
Thanks for the call, 10. Yeah, I mean, look.
I mean, we're winning for sure. As viewers, we're winning.
We're winning. I just want to know what the NBA's plan is. And maybe there is no plan. Maybe it's we're going to be a really good, I've always said this, you know, Nike is Nike, but Adidas is doing pretty well for them themselves.
Exactly.
You know, so maybe it's just,
becomes.
hey, the NFL, they're in their own realm. And our goal, right, does Adam Silver and the executives at the NBA say, let's have an awkward conversation? I know we want to be number one, but number one, that ship has sailed. Our goal, our new number one is number two. Our goal is to not get jumped by anybody else and to not let that gap between us and the NFL get too large. But I think the idea, and you know, we talked about this, I think, Chris, during the season where people were victory lapping. There's always somebody for whatever ulterior motives out there victory lapping the fact that the NFL has crushed. What this says to me is that there's no need for these people to victory lap NFL numbers versus NBA numbers anymore. The NFL has won. It's over. If there was any idea that the NFL hadn't won yet or that this was still a competition.
They've been in first place. I mean, the NBA's.
But when
they've had to climb to get to number two. Baseball used to be number two.
Sure. Right. And that's fun. Yes. And then on top of that, you have people that will discuss, the NBA. What I don't necessarily love is when people say that the NFL puts out a better product than the NBA. And that's and they say that's why the viewership is what it is. Because to me, when you're talking 17, 18 games versus 82, product can go out the window. Right? We talked about March Madness, that product isn't outstanding, but there's urgency. The NBA lacks urgency, and it will always lack urgency. And we see on the SAC chat, hey, you know, it's the same thing with Major League Baseball, the records and the TV deals. They're never going to cut. That's fine, but they will never be able to generate the same energy. So I'm just not going to compare the NFL product and the NBA product anymore. I'm done.
I mean, I don't know if there's ever a comparison in terms of viewership. I mean, the NFL has been blowing everybody out of the water for years when it comes to viewership. So I don't know if the NBA even realistically thought it was in competition with them.
Or could get there,
I think the thing for the NBA is maybe to round this all out, maybe you do concede Christmas, and this is why the in-season tournament's so big for them, is because, you know, if you're not going to get the massive viewership that you used to get on Christmas, maybe you can try and get it all in that same window. What is it, November? I believe, November is when the in-season tournament was. If you can get the viewership there, then maybe it doesn't hurt so bad that you've lost a lot of your Christmas viewership because you got this really big month-long tournament that you were getting viewers every Tuesday and Thursday or Friday, and then you get the tournament at the end as well. I would think maybe that's the NBA's hope for trying to recoup some of those ratings.
That's tough.
I mean, they weren't getting those numbers before.
Sure.
I think that's what it is your normal Tuesday game with no stakes was going to get 1 million viewers, and maybe now you can get 1.5 or 2 on those games.
As long as they're not investing more, as long as they're not losing money from the in-season tournament, which hopefully.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case.
Because that's just the same way the NFL just sold Christmas as a Netflix package. The in-season tournament is going to be sold as its own independent package, where Amazon can now be the exclusive broadcast partner of the in-season tournament, or Netflix, or whoever it's going to be.
Coming up next, Crosstalk with the Drive Guys. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
It's Sacktown Sports 49ers insider Emil Fergoso here to tell you about the Sacramento Autograph Expo Trade Night hosted by True Sports Cards, happening at the Fairgrounds in Roseville. Come hang out with fellow hobby enthusiasts as we sell and trade trading cards under the stars at Attaway Pavilion. Trade Night is completely free, happening Saturday, May 18th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. After an action-packed day of meeting your favorite athletes, stick around for a bit. So come on down to Trade Night at the Fairgrounds in Roseville, located at 700 Event Center Drive, Saturday, May 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information, visit SackSportsCardExpo.com or hit up Trade Night host Candlestick Sports Cards on Instagram. See you there.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with insulation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. And right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection. See our exceptional selection of Elk Grove Honda certified pre-owned Hondas with interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $59. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Joined by Whitey Gleason of the Drive Guys. And Whitey, plenty of things we could go to here. There's something I definitely want to get to, but real quick, because I know you were sitting in here while Chris and I were chatting about the Netflix taking the Christmas Day rights for the NFL. It's going to be C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson, and then Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes.
Can I borrow your password?
Yes.
Your Netflix password. Thank you.
Oh, I was what?
I thought you were looking at his computer.
Well, actually, you can't nowadays because
that's right.
different homes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this as far as the NBA versus NFL? Is there any point having conversations about the two anymore? Because I see something like this and I say, all right, NFL is just in a different realm. Did you already have the NFL in a different realm?
Oh yeah. I'm actually old enough to remember like when Naismith had peach baskets, but I'm old enough to remember when it was like, wow, I thought baseball was the national pastime. Now it looks like it's football.
Right.
I remember that. And, it was somewhat close then.
Right.
You could actually say, maybe we got a battle going on. And now, of course, there's no contest. But I think that's the bottom line. Most people just like football a lot more than they like basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can do about that under the NBA.
But that's what bothers me when people say, because you'll get you'll get a couple every season, whether they're content creators or media members or whoever, and they say the NFL has a better product. And I've responded to people when I've done the comparisons and when people are talking about the numbers and stuff, and it's because the NFL has a better product. And I'll say, well, number one, there's urgency, and number two, you're saying the NFL has a better product, but I think you just like football better than basketball.
I don't know. It's semantics. If Chris has a product and you have a product and people love Chris's product, isn't his a better product just by virtue of the fact that, well, people like it more, so it's better. Football is just people love football.
Right, but that's the sport versus kind of where people lead it to is the NFL is doing a better job than the NBA. And I don't know if that's true. I think back in the day, I think I might have mentioned this to Chris before, but back in the day, my first job at a college, I worked it was a third party. This was right before the app takeover, and it was a third party website, right? And I would work on the back end of the websites, and they had deals with other TV networks. So they would have a deal with Discovery Channel. They would have a deal with NBC, whoever it was, right? So they had a bunch of us who worked on the stuff, and we were sectioned off into the different areas, HBO, whatever. They said, hey, you guys, whoever gets past this amount of sales, you guys will all get bonuses during Q4. We said, oh, this is awesome. Then I looked at who I had, and I think I had Discovery Channel and Finding Bigfoot and things like that. And everybody that had HBO and had Game of Thrones, they all got the bonuses. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that they were doing a better job than me? I don't think so, but they had the hotter product.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it is to me, though.
Yeah. Better product, hotter product. Yeah, absolutely. No question. Don't you think the NBA realizes that?
And it's over. All right, Nate, let's get to this sound on Udonis Haslam talking about JJ Redick, because we want to borrow some of Whitey's knowledge here on a question between this new media and coaching thing combined, and reference it to something that we used to see back in the day. Here it is.
With LeBron James, it's not easy to kind of find that fit. What should the Lakers be looking for in their next head coach?
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. If it's JJ, it's going to be a cynical locker room. You're going to see guys that are going to say, is coach going to do a podcast after the game with LeBron? You're going to have a cynical locker room of guys that are going to side-eye everything JJ says, because they're going to wonder, is it JJ's message or LeBron's message? Now, I'm not just saying this because Chris Quinn is my guy, but Chris Quinn has relationships in coaching LeBron James in Miami prior to LeBron going to.
So you have that situation, and then you have Doug Gottlieb, who was just hired Green Bay for basketball, and he's keeping his radio show and still going to be a member of the media. Whitey, what is more, I guess, far-fetched these days? What these guys are doing, or I said this to Chris before the show, what is it that crazy for LeBron to be player coach if these dudes are going to have their hands in so many other things? Why is the player coach thing seen as so far-fetched, but stuff like this isn't?
It's two different things. I mean, it's
I know
probably
two
easier to do
different
a
things.
podcast and coach a team than it is to coach a team and play on a team.
Is it?
I would guess so.
At least you're only thinking about the team, maybe in two different ways. Versus, I got to do this hit, I got to do that hit. And I don't know if JJ Redick, if he got the job, if he would still do his stuff on ESPN or whatever it is. But let's, for this exercise, assume he does. I don't see how that is any less difficult than being, any less or more difficult than just being a player coach.
I just think Laker fans, if the team gets off to a bad start or something, there's going to be such an outrage that he would have to resign. You remember what it was like when Draymond was struggling and he's doing his podcast, people in the Bay Area, well, maybe if he would stop doing his podcast, he would have made that shot. You know, fans
Which
don't
is true.
tolerate that.
It's true. It's all true.
By the way, Sam Cassell is the guy that should get the Laker job. And I love Sam Cassell. Maybe he's better off if he doesn't. But you look at guys, who's qualified for this?
He was
who's
a hot
paid
name,
the dues? Sam Cassell.
Yeah. He's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
He was a hot name to be a head coach and then got leapfrogged by whoever.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah. Because he's been on Doc Rivers' staff when he was on the Clippers. And I think he's on, I believe he's on Boston's staff right now. So he's been around the block and, you know, somebody he was
a good player.
Some respect, exactly, from his playing days. That seems to be the hot name right now, or the hottest name right now besides JJ Redick is Sam Cassell.
I hope so.
There you go. He deserves it, and you deserve to listen to some Drive Guys
You
coming
deserve
up
better
next.
than that.
No, you deserve that and the world. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Nate. Thank you to all the callers and the texters in the Sack Chat. We're back tomorrow. We're back at it. Secure the bag like the beam.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the